kicking, 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 kicking.
TikTok, time to rock. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon to everyone who's watching from all over the world. Hey, AP, have you heard of this Sneako guy?
What? Sneako? Sneako and the Sneak? Nope, I haven't. Wait, isn't that the guy who said that there is a book that was removed from the Bible that is called the Book of Council of Nicaea?
Yeah, and he was he's looking up verses to try and respond to someone, and he's like, Matt 39. He doesn't even know how to cite Bible verses. That's where he's talking about being a Christian who's been persuaded by the awesome evidence. I was wondering something earlier, just popped into my head. It's like, gosh, Ali Dawa's really dumb, but Sneako's really dumb too. And so I posted, who has a lower IQ? And I really do not know. You can make a case either way. They both have advantages in certain ways. But anyway, so I was like 50-50 on who was dumber, Ali Dawa or Sneako. So I put it out to the people. You got to put everything out to the people. Let them decide.
This is a very tough choice.
Yeah, I did a poll on Twitter, still ongoing. People can still vote, but this is just several hours ago. I posted, who has a lower IQ, Ali Dawa or Sneako? There are 1,770 votes in so far. So approaching 2,000 votes so far. 51% Sneako, 49% Ali Dawa. That's how close this is, right?
Oh, wow. That says a lot.
That does say a lot. But what's funny to me is I was like, gosh, I'm at 50-50. Let me just ask if other people are the same. And then it ends up almost exactly 50-50.
That's funny.
That's interesting.
Now that you asked the question, I'm really struggling. Normally, if you asked about the other Muslim apologists, like recently we were having a conversation about Ali Dawa, Farid, and what's that guy, Saif Talk, and it was easy to list them, in my opinion.
Oh,
now when you compare Ali Dawa and Sneako, it's really a very tough call. Yeah.
Huh. That's extremely tough, and it is interesting that these are the guys who become super popular in the two areas that are most relevant. So guys, in case you're new here, there's something going on called the avalanche of apostasy. Islam is crumbling from within. The apostasy rate went from roughly 0% in like 2005, 2006 among young people to about 25% as of a few years ago. So that is very, very, very rapid shift there. Muslim leaders around the world, even though the Dawa guys still thump their chests, oh, we're conquering the world, they know that it's actually crumbling from within. And so they're in kind of a panic mode because this is connected to everything. This isn't just like a normal human desire to, for whatever group you're in, to conquer the world. It's built into Islam. That's the way things are supposed to be. Muhammad said, I saw the east of the east and the west of the west, and I saw that Islam ruled everything I saw. Islam is supposed to conquer the world. And when all of a sudden you start looking and going, whoa, we got apostasy rates skyrocketing right now. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? And I just pointed out somewhere that, like, because I was doing this way before most of you guys were even born. But back in the day when the numbers came in about the growth rate of Islam, the attitude back in the day, well, you go back 20 years, the attitude was, we're not going to sit back and do nothing. We're going to keep doing dawah, but basically we don't have to do anything. We can chill, because if we do nothing, we win by birth rates. And, 40 or 50 years from now, we dominate the entire world. That was the mindset. You wanted to accelerate it. You wanted to make it go faster. So you wanted to do your dawah. But the attitude was, we're win. It's locked in. The numbers, it's just math. It's math at this point. And more recently, things have changed. Now the apostasy rates have been skyrocketing. And so now it's, if we sit back and do nothing, we lose. We can't sit back and do nothing. We have to do something. And what do? Well, right now they're clinging to their Dawa guys. Ali Dawa will save us from the avalanche of apostasy. Not realizing, oh no, Ali Dawa is just going to make things worse for you. Much, much, much worse. And they're clinging to any random convert. And it's been so far their big ones have been Andrew Tate, the sex trafficker, who's facing rape charges right now. Sneako, not the sharpest tool in the shed, and Sean King recently, of course. So Sean King, the grifter of all. I can't name a bigger.
Hold on, what is it actually about? Is it did he actually really officially convert to Islam? Like, did he do his? Oh,
he did his shahada. He took his shahada with his wife, and they went out. They went out there for Sheikh who was it? Sheikh Omar or something like that. Yeah. And he did it on the first day of Ramadan. Then instantly launched his fundraiser. But it was, people are pointing out, wait, he set up the fundraiser beforehand, then did his shahada, and then announced his. It's like, oh my goodness, are you guys kidding me? Are you falling for this? But they cling to their Dawa guys, and they cling to any convert, no matter how obvious it is that you should not trust this guy. But they got nowhere else to go, so it's desperation, and that works out pretty well for us. So
this is so funny. The funny thing is, I'm looking at news articles right now about Sean King, and it's like nobody's talking about him except a very few Muslim sources. And then there is a Middle East Eye article that says, "Why is everyone talking about Sean King?" Like, nobody's actually talking about him. They're just trying to desperately make it look like he's getting a lot of traction from people now because of his conversion to Islam.
And that one's especially interesting. And I wonder what changed, or if there's something a little different just about Sean King, because when Tate converted, we were like, oh my goodness, this is hilarious. Are they going to fall for this? And they fell for it. There were some who were like, no. There were lots of Muslim women who were going, no, that's a bad idea, and so on. But a lot of the Dawa guys just went all in on this guy. And then Sneako, yeah, we all love Sneako. We love Sneako. And then you get to Sean King, and even Muslims who are absolutely desperate about this were like, not sure we should be getting too excited about this right now. Yeah.
You can't. Sean King is look, if you have a history in the whole progressive politics sphere, I don't know, Black Lives Matter, and all of that stuff, this is the kind of stuff that will not at all appeal to the Muslims, which is very ironic, because those parts of the population, those activists, they try to like heavily defend Muslims and go like, yeah, stop Islamophobia, and the Muslims are like, yeah, please get away from us. And so when one of those people converts to Islam, it's not really liked very much, as opposed to when a garbage human being like Andrew Tate converts to Islam. That, like, they love that.
Hey, do you even know about Sean King? Do you know who that guy is?
I mean, I know his past a little bit from. What do you mean?
So for years, he's claiming that he was he's oppressed for being black. And then people pointed out, wait, you're white. You just cut your hair in a certain way and could trim your mustache in a certain way. And both your parents are white. That's when he came out with, yes, but my mom secretly confided in me one day that my real father was black. But I don't want to talk about her affair. So that was his proof that he's actually half black. And but his entire career has been like just total grift.
And I know.
It would be pretty amazing if even the Dawa guys didn't fall for this, because they will cling to anything. In other words, I'm wondering, is there a limit to what you guys will fall for? Because when it was Andrew Tate, it's like, you're falling for this? This guy, Andrew Tate, has laid out in video form how his entire early path to being a millionaire was all scamming women tricking women, deceiving women, manipulating women into doing sex work to make money for him. Then it was all about how he uses the women to manipulate the guys and to like, this guy's taking out a mortgage on his house to give this woman money, but it's going to us. And then about how you manipulate the women even more, and they think you're giving them 50% and you're not because you're pretending to pay their taxes and stuff. And it's not. He's doing everything as a scam. And then it becomes, hey, how can I amplify this? Well, I'm going to convince all these 16-year-olds still living with their parents around the world that they can do the same thing, and they can be the top G if they just sign up for my course and so on. And it's like scam his entire life. And all of a sudden he converts to Islam and you're supposed to be, wow, we can trust this guy. That's insane to me. Like how would you possibly? Keep in mind, we believe that people can have that it's just a fact. People can change directions in life. They can change course. Someone who does horrible things can have a change of heart and start doing wonderful things. But you kind of have to wait and see. You don't know. If you're a scam artist your entire life, and all of a sudden you say, "Hey, I've made some big decision, and I'm on your side now," I'd be like, "I'm going to have to keep my eyes on you for like 5 years or so before I even think that I can trust you." But they went all in on him, and then Sneako, giving the dumbest reasons for becoming a Muslim ever in the history of humanity. And they went all in on him. And then, my goodness, if there's actually a limit to what they'll fall for, we may have reached it with Sean King.
Man, I'm looking at an article right now, which is, I don't know if you caught that, if that was already out when you made your stream about him, but this artist Macklemore pulled out of a fundraising tour with him, and he said, I don't know what exactly was put out, but he said, just to be transparent, I pulled out of this earlier in the week. A dear friend was putting on a fundraiser. All proceeds, to my understanding, were going toward families in Palestine. I never felt comfortable with the centering or the flyer. I don't know what the flyer is, but apparently, so Sean King was advertising his fundraiser, putting this guy Macklemore on the flyer, and thereby collecting a bunch of money, while knowing that the guy had already pulled out. So he was false advertising. He was making false advertisements and using a celebrity to get more donations. That is, man, I don't know anything about this, but this just seems really, really messed up.
Again, it's absolutely amazing if they've reached their limit of what they will take.
Wow. Anyway, this is so funny. Grift and grift and grift and grift and more grifts. I need to look into this.
Yep, and so we shall. But with Sneako, there's a lot more going on with Sneako and his big trip to the UK than we'll be able to cover here. So we're actually going to go through. Sneako had a little debate with Chris for Speakers, which is interesting. I've seen people calling him Iceman all of a sudden. So I don't know if that's an old name, and I'm wondering why, because he's like blonde. I don't know if it's just because he's ice cold in these debates, or if it's a reference to Top Gun. Top Gun was a bit before your time.
Yeah,
but Top Gun was Val Kilmer's character in that, who was called Iceman. All right. So, matter of fact, there were some details that we'll have to decide if we want to go into some other stuff at some point. But I just wanted I downloaded. He did a big live stream there with Ali Dawa and Muhammad Hijab, and I got a message from. I haven't watched it because I was wondering if I should watch it. But I got a message said Sneako didn't want to go pray with Muhammad Hijab and co. when they said they had to go pray, and he's asking, well, how long is this going to take? Which he should know. Right? And then they're in a bar in a restaurant, and he asked for weed. And then he tries to get the Hindu waiter to repeat the Shahada, but Sneako didn't know the Shahada. Right? So
Really,
yeah,
man,
he's trying to trick the Hindu waiter into reciting the Shahada. So anyway, this might actually be worth watching.
man. Yeah, let's do that. Let's do that.
That big live stream.
Let's,
But now we're going to take a look at Sneako's epic debate. And really, guys, this isn't to pick on Sneako. You could pick some new convert to pretty much anything, and he's not going to know a lot. So that isn't the issue. I mean, it's a different vibe with Sneako because it's not just the fact that he doesn't know anything; it's that he constantly talks like he knows what he's talking about to his viewers, who are even dumber than he is, and that's saying something. And so he's actually misleading people, and so.
but didn't we agree behind the scenes that this is all about bullying Sneako? I thought that's what we're doing.
Yeah, yeah. Come on, you're supposed to. Shh, don't say it in front of everyone. Okay. We like bullying people, ladies and gentlemen. We like bullying people. What's so funny?
No, some guy named Aladdin is going to take that seriously. Be like,
oh
and look,
goodness.
here you can see that they are admitting it very openly, and yet all the people who are watching them are simply ignoring this because they are terrible people. But I am here to give you a better option and be the reasonable voice. So please follow me. Don't watch them. I even give content warnings to you. Yes.
Oh boy, yeah. I like your response earlier. So he did some. He went on some tirade. I kind of glanced at it. I was like, I've kept my mouth closed for 7 days because I was trying to see who were going to be the cherubs of truth and justice and be on my side and worship me, but everyone has betrayed me or something like that. And you just replied with Eminem's Kill Shot.
I did later
a link to Kill Shot.
I did later write a little response to him where I basically, I don't know, just responded to every single point that he brought up and said, shut up now. If you want to talk, go ahead. Meanwhile, I learned something that I'm not supposed to share with the public about him. So I think I'm kind of, I completely gave up on the thought of ever having a conversation with him. However, yeah, I must say the guy is just, he's just a complete piece of work. You know?
He's the new hero of the ex-Muslim movement.
Yeah.
Or at least he wants to be. All right, we'll take a couple of super chats real quick, and then we'll jump into this video where Chris Sneako makes an appearance as the new trophy of Islam, the trophy boy of Islam. And Chris walks up and tried to get him in a little debate on the preservation of the Quran. It did not go well for Sneako, and Sneako ran. I was actually surprised that they didn't shield him from that, because the Dawa guys should know better than to expose this guy to anyone who's going to be able to refute everything they've said. But they let him stand there for a couple of minutes.
It seems unlikely that Sneako ran or that he lost. But yeah, I will believe it when I see it.
We're going to see it. Sneako didn't know the Trinity when I interacted. Well, you can't blame him for that because, I mean, Allah doesn't understand the Trinity either.
Yeah, and Allah is about as dumb as Sneako.
Yeah, so keep in mind, if Sneako actually understood what the doctrine of the Trinity is, he would be greater than Allah. And you don't want to say that. He'd be more knowledgeable than Allah. So your goal is always to be even more ignorant than Allah in Islam. And that explains a lot.
That's true.
About the world. Looks like Sneako had a really bad weeko. That is true. Classic. Only 8 minutes, AP almost arrived on time. I know. That was almost a record. That's what I said to him when he jumped on.
Yeah. I've been here all my life.
Sneako went to the chromosome shop and said, I'll take them all. Dang. I almost admire Talcum X's dedication to the grift. I know it is, right? Like you think that after some point when people are no longer trusting you about anything, you're going to go, oh, okay, I'll give up on this stuff and I'll just not do it anymore. Nope. Just come up with a new one. There's a sucker born every minute. Just keep coming up with a new grift. And so, okay, he got to a point where no one in the community that he was in trusted him anymore to deal with the issues he was saying he was going to deal with. So, hey, I converted to Islam. And have you seen that pattern, AP? Have you seen that pattern over and over again? Keep in mind. Yeah,
Yes.
with Andrew Tate, it's, look, I'm popular. Oh, now I'm in trouble. Oh, now I got banned on social media. Hey, I'm a Muslim. Sneako. Hey, I said a bunch of stuff about feminism. Oh, I got banned off YouTube. Hey, I'm a Muslim. And then Sean King just got banned off of like Instagram and stuff for stuff he was saying. He says it was about Israel. I have no idea, but he got banned off Instagram. And hey, I'm a Muslim now. And so it's just, I don't know what the connection is.
There is also the fact that Sneako didn't just get banned for saying offensive things about feminism or all that. He kind of wants to suppress the reality of why he actually got banned. But as it seems,
is that the one where he was talking about like banging a feminist and against her will, and that was going to change her mind or something?
Yeah. He was responding to a feminist YouTuber, and was saying, you know what people
really
like need. What she really needs is come here, and then slapping her, and then she's like, no, and he was basically emulating us, like her saying no, please no, and him just beating her and having sex with her against her will.
Hey, I'm gonna become a Muslim. I bet.
So he was basically saying that this woman should be deserves to be raped, and he got banned after that.
And then he became a Muslim because he saw Andrew Tate's path in life, and then Sean King, of course, gets banned, and apparently that's just the new pattern. And I really think it ties into what Chris Rock was saying, that we now have a culture that is obsessed with attention, addicted to attention, and there are only a few ways to get attention. You could be the best at something, but that also requires the most work. If you're hot, you can just get naked, start doing stuff like that. You can become popular like that. Or you can get attention by being a victim. And so now there's this race of people leaping over each other to be victims. And so what's interesting is Islam simultaneously offers people a bunch of instant attention. All you have to do is, hey, I've converted to Islam. I've seen the truth. You'll instantly get tons of attention. And also now you can be in the victim category.
Wait, I can get naked and get famous?
Yeah.
Huh, I didn't know.
No,
that.
Not you.
Oh, okay.
And not me.
Okay.
So anyway, so now you have this, we've got this culture. Hey, the greatest thing you can be in life, the easiest path to attention is to be a victim of some sort. And you can become an instant victim right now by converting. And then you're part of the oppressed group, even though we're going to conquer the world and slow you all. Interesting stuff.
That makes sense. Complete sense.
Normal is overrated. Can we do a poll or something for those who thinko? Sneako has already left Islam privately. He just doesn't know what to do or how to leave. We'll actually be getting into this a bit, because there comes a point where you obviously question someone's sincerity. Like, I don't take any of these popular social media influencer converts seriously. Not just because, oh, I don't trust anyone who says they converted to Islam. It's kind of looking at everything. And you look at Sneako, and he gives these reasons. He has no clue what he's talking about on Christianity. He has no clue what he's talking about Islam, but he says all this stuff. And here's why I converted. Then all that stuff gets blown out of the water, and he watches it. He sits there and watches it during live stream. He watches John McRae refute every single thing he said about Christianity, but he's still a Muslim. And we're about to watch this little discussion here, and he's saying, I never heard that before. And Chris is telling him stuff that his Dawa heroes have kept him in complete dark about. And it's like, okay, and it doesn't bother him at all. That's the key, right? That's the key. You could be fed some terrible information by some Dawa clown and go, wow, really? There's only scientific miracles? Let me convert to this without investigating. Let me just trust you and convert. That can happen, and you could still be sincere. But once someone else comes along and is like, actually, that was completely false, and I can prove to you that it's completely false, and you go, whoa, I don't want to hear this. All right, now it doesn't look like you're actually in this because you think it's true. Looks like you're just you're in it for some other reason. I don't know what the reason is. Tension, payments behind the scenes. Don't know, but very difficult to to take you seriously.
Yeah,
All right,
it
let's
is.
go ahead and
Let's go ahead. Look at it.
we'll have some more super chats here in a few, but let's go ahead and check out this powerful, powerful, powerful video.
I don't know. I was wondering.
Hello there.
Imagine.
Are you Sneako?
Yeah.
It's good to meet you. I'm a Christian. Do you mind if I have a dialogue?
Hi, brother.
Hello.
We got a Christian but ethno-nationalist over there. Would you be interested? You know who? Guy with the ribbon. And
I'll chat with you.
yeah.
Yeah.
He looks Jewish up there. Hey, let's talk. Sure. You see.
Sure. So I was wondering what your
Did he say looks Jewish up there? Pointing to some guy saying he looks Jewish.
I don't know. So what is that?
Let's go get him.
He looks Jewish up there.
Hey, he said he looks
Hey,
Jewish.
let's talk. Sure. You see.
Sure. So I was wondering what
Guy looks Jewish. Let's get him.
perspective was.
Hey, and look at these guys with him. So this guy with him, only fear God, the one truth. Sneako has only one God, and this other guy has RTW.
About the preservation of the Bible and the Quran.
Right. The Quran has never been changed and
Never been changed.
So Chris, let me just back this thing up. I want to see what he was offered. He said, let's have a discussion about the preservation of the Bible and the Quran. This does not, just so everyone knows, this does not go long. The guy behind him constantly tries to interrupt. To his credit, let the discussion go on for a little while, but watch him get really antsy that any accurate information is being transmitted to Sneako. They need to put this guy on an island for a couple years and brainwash him and not be exposing him to alternative ideas, because this is not going to go the way they want. What are you giggling at, man? You reading someone's funny comment?
No, the first thing that he brings up is just the Quran has never been changed.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, and you can listen to Sneako. He's clearly got the initial programming and the initial Dawa script. Just the idea that he thinks that nonsense is going to work on anyone who has any clue what he's talking about, let alone an actual Speaker's Corner debater, is just hilarious.
Oh, he has been very much lectured on that before, and he still doesn't get it. So
yeah, pretty bad.
Hey, let's talk. Sure. You see.
Sure. So I was wondering what your perspective was about the preservation of the Bible and the Quran.
Right. The Quran has never been changed and
Never been changed. So there's only one Quran.
Yeah, it's only one version of the Quran.
Only one version.
Only one version of the Quran, he said.
Quran.
Man,
Yeah, and since then, like, people have been able to.
What do you say, man? It's like it's funny. Chris is like, oh my goodness, I can't believe he just said that.
and he said it again, despite going through this like in the past.
Only one version. That's what I heard from Sheikh Uthman. Man, wow.
Never been changed. So there's only one Quran.
Yeah, it's only one version of the Quran.
Only one version of the Quran.
Yeah, and since then, like, people have been able to recite it. Even if all the Qurans were burned, we'd be able to.
Why? Because the oral tradition.
Do you hear that? The standard Dawa script. Even if you burned every manuscript, we'd still be able to just recite it from memory. And guys, no, you wouldn't, because different Muslims in different parts of the world memorize different versions of the Quran. Sneako doesn't know any of this, but it's all the standard Dawa script. Only one Quran, only one version of the Quran, totally different from everything else. Just one version. And if it was all destroyed, we would all put it together by memory. Total nonsense. Memory was your problem in the beginning. That's why you ended up with so many differences.
Why is
exactly
he,
what
I don't even understand. Why is Sneako there trying to represent Islam?
Well, no, yeah, that's the thing. It's he's in the UK, and they're putting him on everyone's shows and podcasts and stuff for Ramadan to get everyone excited about Ramadan, and showing Sneako breaking his fast with Muhammad Hijab and Ali Dawa, and then, hey, let's go over to Speaker's Corner. Plenty of Muslims there to have his back, and they just screwed up here. They just screwed up. They should have jumped in there.
This is such a ridiculous thing to do. Imagine you want to use a known figure to appeal to people and to, I don't know, I guess brag or whatever it is, and the person that you use is, because he happens to be popular for streaming, somebody like Sneako. I can't even think of an equivalent, but it's like I don't know, that guy Aiden Ross. Like, imagine he converted to whatever we are proposing, and we were like, oh yeah, we have to get this guy. We have to have him speak to everybody.
Let's put him on a world tour right now. The Aiden Ross world tour. Guys,
this is Islam, man.
Kanye West announced that he converted to Christianity, and the Christian reaction was, hope the best for you, happy to help you out, but you are not our spokesman for a long, long time until we've had a chance to watch you, because you seem like someone we would need to keep our eyes on. And what happened? Yep, went off the deep end because he's got issues. I mean, can you imagine if Kanye had announced, after I read the Quran, I realized it agrees with me completely on Jews, so now I'm converting. He would be the biggest.
He would be everywhere. They would use the heck out of him everywhere. But didn't he just announce that he's God or something?
Yeah, he said, I didn't see it, but I saw John McCrae post a video about it. Now that he's not Jesus, he's God. And Christians are like, yep, glad we didn't go all in on this guy. Not the Dawa guys. They'll go all in on anyone apparently except Sean King. Anyone else in the world. I can't even. It's funny. I'm trying to think of some other examples of people who are like less trustworthy than Andrew Tate. So I could be like, even if this guy, but I can't think of it. I can't think of anyone less trustworthy than the guys who are actually converting to Islam and becoming their poster boys.
It's ridiculous.
It's pretty funny. You should see, I can't do this because I'm a Christian. I have to speak the truth, but you're an atheist. So one day you should be like, after all these years of attacking Islam, I've concluded that I'm just in rebellion because the arguments are so powerful. And then say you converted, and you'll be the hero. You'll be the hero of the Ummah.
What makes you think that because I am an atheist, I can just it's just fine for me to lie?
That's what I would do if I were an atheist.
Well, okay, good point.
I've been telling people for years, guys, if for some reason you ever see me convert to Islam, if you ever see me, I've realized that Islam is true. You can know, rest assured, I became an atheist behind the scenes, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna take advantage of this gullibility over here.
That's good. That's a good idea.
Yeah.
I celebrate it.
So you can recite it.
Oh, I can't recite it, but people can memorize it. Yeah.
Right. Because the oral tradition, you know exactly what it is, so you can recite it.
Oh, I can't recite it, but people can memorize it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, brothers can.
So do you accept that there's 10 qira'at of the Quran?
He just said, but people can memorize it. Yeah, we can memorize Dr. Seuss, Sneako. It just cracks me up the level of stupidity of these arguments. But people can memorize it. Yeah. If I sat down and tried, I could memorize the lyrics to every Katy Perry song that has ever been made. What in the name of common sense would that have to do with whether it's from God? Nothing.
I thought you already did memorize all of the Katy Perry songs.
No, I can't even think of a Katy Perry song. I know I've heard one.
Interesting.
I'm trying to think, but I don't know if it's like a Katy Perry or Taylor Swift or any of those other. Who said you're a firework or something? Was that Katy Perry? You're a firework? I have no idea. I know she was married to Russell Brand, so that was man, they should have had some kids. That would have been some really what? That's weird. I didn't know that.
Oh, I can't recite it, but people can memorize it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, brothers can.
So do you accept that there's 10 qira'at of the Quran, 10 different readings?
Sure.
Okay, but those 10 different readings are obviously different, right?
Okay.
So if they're
do you accept the 10 qira'at? Sure. He has no clue what the guy's talking about. Sure.
Yeah, sure. I guess. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure. Whatever.
Oh, yeah. Sure.
different, then there's not one Quran, there's 10 Qurans.
Okay.
So do you take...
Okay. Isn't that funny, though? There's only one version of the Quran. Do you accept the 10 qira'ats? Sure. So it's 10 different Qurans. Okay. It's like, does he have an issue where he just agrees? He just goes along with whoever's standing in front of him, and he's
you're being deceived here. He's just going right now. He's just going okay. Then he will start schooling.
Oh, then he's going to start schooling him. Let's back this up a little bit because that's just hilarious to me. That so you agree with the 10 qira'ats? Yeah, sure. So it's 10 different. It's not one Quran. It's 10 Qurans. Okay. This is awesome.
10 different readings. Sure.
Okay, but those 10 different readings are obviously different, right?
Okay.
So if they're different, then there's not one Quran, there's 10 Qurans.
Okay.
So do you take that back? There's only one Quran?
That's the first time I've heard that.
First time he's heard it. Guys, everyone pay attention because this is very, very important. Look at what just happened. If someone converts to Islam, I don't blame that person for not knowing about the 10 Kirat and so on. I have no reason to think that you would know about that stuff. But if you're out there talking like there's only one Quran perfectly preserved and it's perfectly preserved, and remember, you could destroy it all and we would still be able to just recite it from memory and put it all back together. You've absorbed the Dawah script and you're proclaiming it. You're proclaiming it as if you know what you're talking about, and you don't know even the basics of the basics. And that's the problem. It programs people with completely wrong information and makes them say it with complete confidence as if they're experts on the subject, and they just here's what the situation is. And one, they're saying things that are completely false and ridiculous. And it just spreads like crazy. And two, they have actually no clue what they're talking about, and anyone with accurate information could completely destroy their position. This is insane.
You know what the bad thing is? What the bad thing is that so apparently nobody told him about this. He never heard of this before. The bad thing is when he now if he now went to a Muslim scholar or apologist and said, "Hey, I just heard about this whole thing, like these Quran. I never heard of this before. What is this about?" And then they informed him about all of this. What he would do is, oh, okay, so this, and this, and this, and this. He would learn additional things in order to build another defense. He wouldn't think
that's about to happen.
Wait a minute, I was wrong about this. I was clearly wrong, and then correct himself. No, he would just learn additional defense positions for that.
That's exactly. See, you haven't seen this yet, have you?
No.
That's exactly what happens here, right? This the big guy behind him jumps in with, "Oh no, that's just there are differences, but it's just like different accents. It's like speaking with different accents." Right. And it's like, gosh, so not only does Sneako think that he's gonna spout this standard Dawah script right in front of Chris, who's a seasoned debater, the guy behind him thinks, oh, I can jump in with the explanation of this, and not realize, no, it's not going to work. It's not going to work at all. So guys, I find this absolutely amazing that you have the Dawah guys and they basically program an entire generation to believe dot for dot, letter for letter, perfect preservation, not one single variant in the entire manuscript history of the Quran. Matter of fact, do I have a book around here? Let me see. Is this it? Oh, matter of fact, I just, that's funny. I looked over here. I will actually, hey, go ahead and talk for a second, AP. I want to find this real quick.
1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. Oh, we're not doing sound tests. Okay. Yes. So, I am talking right now, and that's the problem. Yeah, no, the thing with him is exactly as I just said. He is not here to learn. He's not here to be corrected and to correct himself. He is just being used as a mercenary, a very, very bad one to that. It's like very low quality, but the fact that he's known for something completely unrelated just makes these people want to use him, despite his low intellect and his extremely shallow understanding, his complete lack of knowledge of the religion. He isn't supposed to go out there and supposed to argue for Islam, because what matters is not that he actually says something useful. What matters is that he, with his presence, draws attention to Islam and thereby increases the chance of people coming to Islam. And it doesn't matter if those people who come to Islam actually know about Islam or not, if they're smart or incredibly stupid. What matters is just increase the numbers. That's why they are proud of the population growth, of random people converting to Islam. As you just said, I mean, if Kanye West converted to Islam, he would be the hero, despite the fact that the guy is a lunatic and he doesn't know much.
Gosh, I'm looking for it. I'm looking for, let's see, find a shadow of doubt. No. This is from Mazhar Qazi. And that's actually He's got so many sections there. I was looking for yeah, I'll find it later. He's got this awesome quotation where he gives this dot for dot, letter for letter, perfect preservation, says specifically, there has not been one single difference, not one single letter, not one single dot of difference between any two Qurans in the entire history of the Quran. This is Dr. Mazhar Qazi, Sheikh Yasser Qadi's dad. Right? So these are the guys who put this nonsense in a generation of Muslims. And they were telling Muslims this: your average Muslim, he doesn't have manuscripts in front of him. He doesn't go to the hadiths and look up the history of the preservation. He doesn't know about the different qira'at, and so he doesn't know any of this. So they're able to deceive an entire generation. But what was happening? What was happening that entire time? Critics are coming along going, guys, that's nonsense. That's nonsense. Why don't you actually look what your books say about the history of the Quran and the changes? Why don't you look at actual manuscripts? Why don't you pay attention to the different versions of the Quran that are
I
used in
don't
different
want to
parts of the world?
look.
Yeah. And then, so once these same Muslims who've been told perfect preservation right down to the letter, no variance anywhere, once they started being shown textual variants in the Quran, they went back to the exact same dawah guys, explain why there are variants. Oh, it's just like different accents. And then they came back, it's just different accents. And then people saying, this is not different accents. These are different words. They go back, because it's different dialects. Yeah, the Quran was revealed in these different ways, in these different dialects. And they came back, okay, see, it's just different dialects. No, it's not different dialects. Some of these different readings in the Qira'at actually give contradictory meanings. The meanings contradict one another. And so then they go back and forth, and but all the different readings, they're revealed in all those different ways because they complement each other. No, they don't. They contradict each other. And what amazes me is every step of the way, these same just general Muslims will keep going back to the same dawah guy who's been lying to them the entire time and go back to the same exact guys over and over again. And now you see it all in a nutshell with Sneako and his buddy here. And it's just a perfect preservation, only one Quran. And actually, wait a minute, there are 10 different Qira'at. By the way, there are more Qira'at than that. Those are like the official ones. Actually, you got different versions of the Quran. So do you take that back? And then this guy's going to jump in, no, it's different accents. And then he's going to get shut down on that. And then Sneako's going to run. And I don't know. It's just perfect. It's just a perfect encapsulation of the state of Dawah in the world.
That's what they do. They encapsulate.
They encapsulate. Here we go.
Different readings are obviously different, right?
Okay.
So if they're different, then there's not one Quran, there's 10 Qurans.
Okay.
So do you take that back that there's only one Quran?
That's the first time I've heard that.
I said it to you, you accepted it, so I assume you know about it, right? You're not just taking my word for it.
What are the 10 versions?
No, so there's different citations, just like there's different accents. There's a British accent, there's a Texas accent, there's an English accent.
They're not accents.
Different accent. Who are you gonna believe, a Muslim or a Christian?
Really? Did you catch this? I could watch this over and over again 10 times.
Are you kidding me, man?
One for every different recitation. No, one for every official different reading of the Quran. There are more. Did you see that, guys? Did you see that? Oh, let's back it up and watch that again. This is Dawah in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen. This is how Dawah works. Here we go. Watch it again. Watch it again. I'll probably watch it. We've got to watch this a couple times in a row.
So there's only one Quran?
That's the first time I've heard that.
I said it to you, you accepted it, so I assume you know about it, right? You're not just taking my word for it.
What are the 10 versions?
No, so there's different citations, just like there's different accents. There's a British accent, there's a Texas accent, there's an English accent.
They're not accents.
Different accent. Who are you gonna believe, a Muslim or a Christian?
Really?
Wow, man. Wow. How pathetic. How pathetic can you possibly be? Wow, what a response, man.
Isn't that amazing? Guys, did you see that? Did you see the Dawah in action? They have filled Sneako's mind with completely false information. I don't even know why they do it at this point. They know it's going to be exposed. They know it won't last. When they say perfect preservation, only one version of the Quran, they know it's not going to last at this point. But they filled his head with that stuff anyway. Why? Because he's been rolling with Sheikh Uthman, who still defends the scientific miracle. He's still Sheikh Uthman is like a guy from like 10, 15 years ago, right? Prior to these things being exposed. He's still in a race to try and spout to say he's in a race that he can lie to people faster than you can refute the lies. He's still in that mode. But look at that. So Sneako, yes, only one Quran, only one version of the Quran. That gets refuted. Actually, there are 10. These are the 10 official Qira'at. Again, there are more. But so there are 10 different readings of the Quran. And Sneako asked the guy who's with him, because Sneako, I haven't heard this before. Guess what? They're putting Sneako out there to preach Islam over and over again, and he has no clue what he's talking about. And they programmed him with a message, and he's just saying it, and he has no clue what he's talking about. But he doesn't know. He says, this is the first time I've heard this. He turns to the guy, what are the 10 different readings? And the guy goes, it's like accents, man. You got a British accent, an English accent, and no, it's not. Who are you going to believe? This Christian who's speaking the truth, or a Muslim who's lying to you and saying it's just like different accents, like a British accent? My goodness, man.
This is so... I'm trying to think of a comparison, but it's like they're treating him like... I don't know. It's like when he has doubts, he has a question, and he's informed by somebody else about it. He's like, oh, hold on. Are you going to believe him, or are you going to believe a Muslim? He's not a Muslim. You're supposed to believe a Muslim, not a Christian. So that's the message, Sneako. Behave. Believe the Muslims. Don't believe the Christians. Don't believe the non-Muslims. They will lie to you. You're supposed to believe us. Or are you really going to believe a non-Muslim on this?
This is awesome. Man. This is, guys, like, here's what gets me, and here's where I can't believe that someone is actually sincere at this point. When you're Sneako and someone gave you all these ideas about why you need to become a Muslim, and those are completely destroyed. Multiple people destroyed them. I'm one of them. And you just don't care. You just keep rolling with it. And you see right here, hey, no one told me about this. That should be a red flag right there. Wait a minute. I'm hanging out with these Muslim guys all the time who are telling me about the perfect preservation of the Quran. No one ever mentioned to me what this Christian is just mentioned to me. That should be a red flag right there. Why am I only getting accurate information about the Quran from Christians and not from the guys I've been hanging out with? And then he sees it right in front of him and says, let me ask a Muslim what this guy's talking about, because I have no idea. And the guy lies right in front of him, and then pulls the, who are you going to believe? This Christian or this Muslim? Huh? How do you not at that point realize, oh my goodness, I can't believe I bought into this stuff?
Don't believe him. He's not a Muslim. Don't believe him. Believe us only.
This is phenomenal stuff. This is awesome.
Hey,
awesome,
we have
awesome.
3,000 people watching. What's happened?
Oh, we do? Oh,
yeah.
Snap. Hey, there's Chris at Speaker's Corner in the chat. Let me click on and see. Is that the real Chris? Sometimes people show up. Hey, Chris, how you doing? Hey, Chris, if you ever want to jump in live with us, let us know. We could have some fun. You could keep everyone updated on stuff that's going on. All right, let's watch some more. I do want to go back and watch just that part one more time, since we just discussed it, because gosh, that is beautiful.
Do it. Just do it.
Just do it.
Okay, but those 10 different readings are obviously different, right?
Okay.
So if they're different, then there's not one Quran, there's 10 Qurans.
Okay.
So do you take that back, there's only one Quran?
That's the first time I've heard that.
I said it to you, you accepted it, so I assume you know about it, right? You're not just taking my word for it.
What are the 10 versions?
No, so there's different recitations, just like there's different accents. There's a British accent, there's a Texas accent, there's an English accent.
They're not accents.
Different accent. Who are you gonna believe, a Muslim or a Christian?
So,
really? Is that what it boils down to? Just believe.
The difference between the Qira'at?
This is
Yeah, of
just
course.
such.
So it's a famous one. Muhammad Hijab will tell you.
Huh?
This is just so humiliating. It's like he looks at him, treats him like a little child, on camera. Just looks at him directly. He's like, "Who are you going to believe, a Muslim or a Christian?" Man, embarrassing.
Chris, do I have your email? He says he can jump in. He says he can jump in with us. This might be fun. Trying to figure out how to send you a link. Do I have an email from you? Let me see.
Sneako, is this really how you understand being a man and being confident and all the stuff that you have described over the years? Is this really? Are you demonstrating right now how tough you are and how manly and how confident and how great you are by being pushed around, not even knowing what you bought into, and then being told right there in such a humiliating way on camera, are you going to believe him or are you going to believe me? I'm a Muslim. Is it really, man?
Hey.
This is embarrassing, and it shows that it shows very, very great weakness on your behalf.
AP.
Yes.
I'm figuring out how to send Chris a link. Go ahead and break some more stuff down along those lines, or address some comments real quick. Wait, let me see. Let's go through a couple super chats, and then I'll find one that you could talk about for 20 minutes, like you always do.
How much time do you need to send somebody a link?
I have to figure out how to send him a link, but I found his Twitter thing. But I found his Twitter page, so I'm going to send it here.
It should take you like literally 2 minutes or something.
Answer this question. Oh yeah, I didn't mean you were actually going to talk for 20 minutes. I just had to pull up Twitter and stuff like that. Let's see.
I take everything literally. I don't know.
I may be like Muhammad and I can't read, or is this about Sneako and not the leader and your mortal enemy, Mike Winger of the Wingalings? Dawa equals dumb. He had to bring up Mike. He had to bring up Mike Winger.
How did Mike Winger get into this again?
Everyone knows what a problem Mike Winger is, so he just keeps coming up. We've got some shekels there. Yes, we love all the shekels. Shekels are my favorite currency now. The only thing more beautiful than an American dollar bill. Hey AP, who wrote Hebrews? That should keep you busy because you have no clue.
What? Who wrote Hebrews? It does in the New Testament.
Yeah, I'm wondering why he's asking you who wrote Hebrews. Isn't that funny?
Wait, I posted Aladdin. Look at the username. I posted Aladdin.
Yeah, that's classic. I just thought it was funny that he singled out you.
Why are you asking me who wrote Hebrews? Isn't that a New Testament? That's a New Testament book, right? It's one of the letters.
Yeah,
isn't that Paul then? So it's Paul, right?
Well, no, because that one's actually disputed, which maybe that's why he's bringing it up. But yeah, that one's actually disputed. So it's like an issue whether it was Paul or Apollos or something like that. Okay, let me see. How do I send? I know how to send a message on Twitter. All right, it sucks because I may have his email address or something but I just went all in over here. All right, Chris from Speaker's Corner. I'm sending you a link on Twitter. So I sent that as a DM on Twitter. As you can see, I'm not terribly technologically proficient with most stuff.
Yeah.
But I get it done. That's how I roll. I get it done. All right, so guys. So we may have Chris from Speaker's Corner here joining us here in a second. We'll see. All right, let me back this up a little bit to see what we miss. Matter of fact, let's take a couple super chats here. Yeah, so the author of Hebrews is clearly someone who is very close and knows the original apostles well, but there's a couple of people that could refer to. Early on, many people thought it was the apostle Paul. There were some differences in, doesn't sound like the apostle Paul very much, but they would have scribes and so on who would, they would compose their letters with scribes and so on. But yeah, it sounds like someone else. And so,
it certainly wasn't me, so I don't know why you're asking me.
You're supposed to know.
I didn't write it. So, thoughts
on Sunan Abu Dawud 4736 and Musnad Ahmed 160. That's an interesting passage in Sunan Abu Dawud. I don't know the other one here.
I was with the Negus when his son recited a verse of the gospel, so I laughed. Thereupon he said, "Do you laugh at the word of Allah, the Exalted?"
Powerful.
This is something said by Amir bin Shar.
Mm-hmm. The Exalted.
Why is this in the Hadith? This is interesting.
Yeah. And Musnad Ahmed 160. It was narrated that Anas said, Umar said, I agreed with my Lord, may he be glorified and exalted, in 3 matters. Or my Lord agreed with me in 3 matters. I said, O Messenger of Allah, why don't you take the Maqam of Ibrahim as a place of prayer? Then Allah revealed the verse, And take you people the Maqam place of Ibrahim, or the stone on which Ibrahim stood while he was building the Kaaba, as a place of prayer. And I said, why don't you tell the mothers of the believers to observe hijab, for both righteous people and evildoers enter upon you. Then the verse of hijab was revealed. And I heard something about the mothers of the believers. So I talked to them and told them, you should stop bothering the messenger of Allah, or Allah will replace you with the wives who are better than you and are Muslims. Then I came to one of the mothers of the believers, and she said, O Umar, is it the case that the messenger of Allah cannot admonish his wives so that you come and admonish them? So I stopped. Then Allah, may he be glorified and exalted, revealed the verse, it may be if he divorced you all that his Lord will give him instead of you wives better than you, Muslims who submit to Allah, believers. Anyway, I guess the gist of bringing that up.
I made a video about this, which is called "The Origin of the Hijab."
About just this topic or this particular hadith? Because this includes a bunch of times, like it's just like everything seems awfully convenient.
I didn't. I brought up specifically that point in that video, although I didn't go deeply into the other topics that were brought up. I just so the main topic is how the hijab came into existence, but then of course it ties into how Omar seems to be the one who is giving Allah the ideas of making certain rules.
It's that happened quite a bit. Guys, I haven't been looking at the chat for a couple of minutes. Just wanted to make sure that, I mean, Chris may need to be setting up or something like that, but I just wanted to make sure he got that message that I sent on Twitter and that it is his account, not some fake thing that I just sent a link to. All right. Mormon Finkelstein. Let's see. Sneako and boys all-star team. What do you think of Cenk versus Shmuley last debate? Did you see a Cenk versus Shmuley debate?
That was a long. That was months ago, I think. It was a very poor debate. It was a very, very poor debate. That's all I know about it. It was. It wasn't good. It wasn't interesting. It was just like the two yelling at each other, basically.
Really?
And yeah, it wasn't good at all. And Cenk is not a person to debate. The guy is, you can't expect.
Yeah, I don't even know at this point. It's just, I think the only reason, because he's not saying anything interesting. Did you know that bombs kill people? It's true. It's true. There was a study that said bombs kill people.
He was calling him bigot. He was saying, "You bigot, you racist! This is so offensive. I'm so angry." That's how he was talking to Rabbi Shmuley, basically.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like, apart from he had a big popular channel back in the past, I don't even know how it's doing anymore. I don't see it as nearly as much as I used to. So I'm guessing it's not as popular. But I guess that's the only reason.
Wait. What? They had another debate today.
Okay. Oh, see? You don't even know what you're talking about, man.
Huh, interesting. I see.
You don't even know what you're talking about, dude.
I see. Huh, interesting.
Okay. So, since this is new, Aviel, we do not have an opinion on this. We would guess it was not very great. That's what we would guess.
Yes.
Ayatollah says, we've fallen for it again this time. Yep. I don't know what you're referring to, but there's a bunch of stuff that could apply to in this video with Sneako. Joshua says, looked everywhere. I can't find if Robert Spencer will ever come to Illinois to sign a copy of the Critical Quran and learn from Norman. Oh, hang on. Looks like we got Chris here. Let's see what happens. Hang on, having some trouble. Again, sometimes I click on people and it says they're going into the green room. And then how do I get him out of the green room?
Amateur hour.
Testing.
Hey, we hear you, but you're invisible. Is that intentional?
Yeah, that may be me because I had a lot of technical problems joining this.
I think he's a little bit loud.
Will we be able to see your adorable face?
Might want to reduce his.
I can keep trying, but it had like an issue and it's telling me, oh, it couldn't work and stuff. But I managed to figure out a way to get in, but I had to turn my camera off.
Okay, guys, we have Chris from Speaker's Corner here. He's just in the dark. Hey, Chris. So, what was the situation with Speaker's Corner going on there? Did Sneako just show up one day? Hey, there you are. Hey, there you are.
Okay. Do I look weird? Like, is it like a green and purple tint?
You don't need to. So the main issue is whether we can hear you, and we can. Yes, you're green. We do not care. We're totally fine.
It's a literal green room. That's interesting.
Yeah, it's just a filter.
It's just funny that as AP pointed out, I just had you in the green room, and you're actually green.
Ah, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah,
makes sense.
So, thank you guys for having me on. I really appreciate it. I thought it'd be good just to talk through some of the context of the day, because there was quite a lot of just strange sort of happenings. A lot of things happened in that one day, and a lot of people debated Sneako.
Yeah, give us the give us the background and so on, and then we'll go ahead and watch the video, and we can get your commentary on some of the issues, and then you can tell us anything else you want to include.
Sure. So we actually followed a live stream. I can't remember who exactly the live stream was, but I don't know if it was Hijab or if it was Ali Dawah or someone, but someone was live streaming, and they made it clear that Sneako was in London. And Sneako, during this live stream, said that he wanted to go to Speaker's Corner. And I think it was Hijab said to him, "Don't do this. That's probably not a good idea."
Uh-huh.
Really?
Now,
wow.
You see, we were thinking, we were thinking about this. We were thinking, what are the odds Sneako doesn't listen to that and goes anyway? And we all thought that was a pretty high likelihood, right? So we thought, okay, this is actually our chance. We may have a chance to debate with Sneako. And we were thinking this might be pretty special for a day. So let's make the most of it. So we all sort of try to get there, and there are many people that came with this intent of debating him. And as soon as I got there slightly later than usual. I just looked around and thought, is he here? And I saw him in the crowd, and that's where the video starts. I literally just go up to him and say, "Hey, are you Sneako?" Introduce myself briefly, and then thought this would be great. Let's debate. I wasn't expecting it to be so short.
You say that at the end. You're like, I didn't expect it to be so short, but you give him some basic information. He's heard none of it at any point. Another Dawah guy jumps in to try and it's to the point with the guy, like the big guy behind him. Like, I'm not going to assume that the guy was deliberately lying just from him saying it's accents. That may have been what was told to him by some guy who was lying to him, so he may believe that. But it's the fact that once he says it and you correct him, who are you going to believe? Who are you going to believe? Then it's like, wait, you're sitting there trying to manipulate Sneako into mindlessly agreeing with you when you're saying something false, instead of Chris, who's actually giving him basic information that he would get if he sat down and studied the real situation with the Quran for 10 minutes. But
I'm really wondering if you now confronted that guy, that Muslim guy who said that, are you going to believe a Christian or a Muslim? If you confronted him about this, would he eventually admit and say, "Okay, you know what, I was wrong"?
Well, actually, Chris, you brought it up, and we just kind of got the beginning of it right there. But what you're going into, you're like, ask Muhammad Hijab. Go ask Muhammad Hijab this stuff. He'll tell you I'm right.
Yeah, exactly that. I made a video where I made a short, I think, where I highlighted that Muhammad Hijab has used in argument at Speaker's Corner against Hadith rejectors, like Quran-only Muslims or Quranists. He uses the fact that there are known variants as an argument for why you need to accept the Hadith. So I was kind of like, look, this is common knowledge now. I'm aware of Muhammad Hijab's previous statements where he said the letter for letter, dot for dot, word for word thing. But nowadays, he's using it as an argument against Hadith rejectors.
And we all saw that famous clip of, that was you, right? When you went up to Muhammad Hijab, and it looks like you were like, hey, wait a minute, this guy for years was saying perfect preservation, dot for dot, letter for letter. Let's ask if he's willing to correct himself on that. And you went up to him and said, hey, so you guys spent years, your scholars have been saying for years, perfect dot for dot letter. And he's like, what scholars? It's like, dude.
Yeah. I had to
are
bite
you
my tongue for
serious?
that because I was aware that he said it, but I didn't want to sidetrack the conversation into that. I wanted to continue where this was going because I thought this was gonna go quite well. So I had to kind of bite my tongue and be like, okay, well, I know you've said it, but anyway, let's carry on and say other things. But in that debate, I went up to him because a Muslim told me, I was speaking privately with a Muslim, and I said, look, there are issues with the Quran. There's not one Quran. Basically saying very similar things to what I say to Sneako. And this Muslim said to me, Chris, I only accept scholars like Muhammad Hijab. And that was his words. And I was so like, okay, well, there's a lot wrong with that statement. But all right, then, let's say he's a scholar. I'll go and debate him. And you can watch us and you can see that even he will, to some extent, acknowledge this. And that's kind of how the debate started. It was interesting, but it was all because a Muslim wanted, and the Muslim was like standing at the side watching for a while. I think he then left later on, but yeah, it was interesting.
Interesting stuff. All right, let's go ahead and check out some of this video. We'll go ahead and start it.
Hello there.
Let's see, getting up here. We'll just rewatch because we've only watched like a minute of it so far.
So I was wondering what your perspective was about the preservation of the Bible.
We're rewatching this because it's under a minute, ladies and gentlemen, that we've actually watched, and because AP can't stop interrupting every 10 seconds.
If you stop explaining it and just play the video,
I'm just going to play this. I'm just going to play this video real quick. Okay. And Chris, if you want to stop anywhere to break anything down, just tell me to stop.
From the Quran.
Right, the Quran has never been changed.
Never been changed. So there's only one Quran.
Yeah, it's only one version of the Quran.
Only one version of the Quran.
Yeah, and since then, like, people have been able to recite it, even if all the Qurans were burned, we'd be able to.
Right, because the oral tradition, you know exactly what it is, so you can recite it.
Oh, I can't recite it, but people can memorize it. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, brothers can.
So, do you accept that there's 10 qira'at of the Quran, 10 different readings?
Sure.
Sure.
Why not?
The follow-up should have been, can you tell me what the 10 qira'at are? that you just agreed to. Sure.
Okay, but those 10 different things are obviously different, right?
Okay.
So if they're different, then there's not one Quran, there's 10 Qurans.
Okay.
So do you take that back, that there's only one Quran?
That's the first time I've heard that.
I said it to you, you accepted it, so I assume you know about it, right? You're not just taking my word for it.
What are the 10 versions?
No, so there's different recitations, just like there's different accents. There's a British accent, there's a textile accent, there's an English accent.
They're not accents.
Different accent. Who are you gonna believe, a Muslim or a Christian?
Really?
Oh, that guy.
Wow. All right, so Chris, are the different readings of the Quran different accents? Like, an Australian guy has his accent, and a British guy has his accent, an American has a different accent. Is that what we're talking? Is that what you were talking about?
No, not at all. The 10 qira'ats that are accepted by scholarship, it takes the Uthmanic Codex, which is, Uthman collected the Quran, he burnt all the other stuff. So you now have this supposed one copy that Uthman has given both thumbs up to, and he distributes it to different cities. And when he does this, people add different Arabic marks or diacritical marks that change the text, and it changes the meaning of the text. Now, a lot of the times this is kind of like quite basic, like it changes like you to them, or it's past tense to future tense. But sometimes it actually changes entire words. So yeah, it does change the meaning.
And yet it's just different accents. So Sneako, guys, just keep it boggles the mind. Sneako's head has been filled with false information about the Quran. Chris gives him some accurate information about the Quran. The guy who's there to protect Sneako jumps in with more deception to basically keep Sneako from realizing that this is a serious idea. Thinko should be a character who refutes everything. Guys, there should be a YouTube character named Thinko. It could be Sneako's nemesis. That would be a funny.
Yeah, it's an alter ego.
Yeah. But yeah, so this guy jumps in with more complete misinformation, and then Chris responds to that, and then it just becomes, who are you going to believe, Christian or Muslim? And that's
What's
just,
also funny? When Chris, when you ask him there, so about the Quran, and he says, "Wait, I think that was the question, right?" He says, "Sure," but
Yeah.
then you continue, and he says, "This is the first time I've heard of this." So
I think he didn't know what that meant, as in he didn't realize that if there's many of them, there's not one. Like, I think it hadn't registered until later on when I made it clear, and then he had to ask about it. So it's kind of weird.
How hard is it to just say, you know what? I am not well versed in any of this. I will.
yeah, there's
step
no shame in
back
that.
and I
No
will
shame in that.
Just listen. Just let other people talk. Not bother trying to explain or defend or preach Islam. Maybe that's what Sneako should be doing. But no, you should have listened to Mohammed Hijab. You should have listened.
he
to
should
Mohammed.
have. Yeah.
Should have listened. And guys, just keep in mind the wisdom, the hikmah behind that. I mean, I generally
Are we
think
saying hijab has the hikmah here?
that's what I'm saying.
the
I mean,
wise one.
as low as hijab's hikmah is, and this gets pointed out by Muslims that he is a low hikmah individual, he had the basic hikmah of saying this new convert that we're in the process of filling with complete nonsense so we can program to be a future da'i, he has to be kept insulated from hearing refutations of the nonsense we're filling his head with, and therefore do not let him around a bunch of Christian Speaker's Corner debaters. Do not let that happen. That is a bad idea. And Sneako's like, what? But I have the truth now. I could go out and tell these guys there's only one Quran. It's going to go really well.
The absence of hikmah.
No hikmah.
Yeah.
That is the, guys, of all the different problems that you have in the Ummah right now, supporting child marriage and all this stuff, it all boils down to low hikmah. Low hikmah. They have a hikmah deficiency. They're a hikmah deficient community right now, the Dawah community.
It's HDS, hikmah deficiency syndrome.
You got that low energy. You got low hikmah.
Yeah, low
He's a
hikmah.
low hikmah guy.
Yep. You got low testosterone and low hikmah problems. All right. Let's check out a little more of this.
Just like there's different accents, there's a British accent, there's a Texas accent, there's an English accent.
They're not accents.
Different accent. Who are you gonna believe, a Muslim or a Christian?
So,
Really? Is that what it boils down to? Just
the
believe.
difference between the Qur'an?
Yeah, of course. So there's a famous one. Mohammed Hijab will tell you this. Because I had a chat with him about it. So you have in Surah Al-Fatiha, you have Ayah 4. I think it's Ayah 4. Ayah 4 right? Yeah, so Malik al-Madin or Malik al-Madin, owner or king in Arabic. They're two different words. So if you want to read up about this, you can get a book called The 10 Qira'at of the Noble Quran by Dr. Fidel Suleiman, who works for the Bridges Foundation in Cairo, which is a Dawah Institute. And he's wrote a book about it, where he translates the Quran into English, but not just in one reading, he does it for all 10. So you can read the differences in the Quran for all different 10 valid readings according to Islamic scholars.
Great.
Cool. So do you accept that?
Great.
Nice one.
But I mean, think about this. Sneako. So, I mean, this is like, I don't understand. I don't understand not seeing the problem here. So one was, I thought perfect preservation of only one Quran version. Now this is just in a period of a few seconds that has unraveled before my eyes. That's one issue. The second issue is, when I heard this new information, this guy instantly stepped in to try to gloss over the issue with a smokescreen. Then when that didn't work, then he tried to, you only believe Muslims, only believe what Muslims say, even though these guys clearly lying right now. And then the fourth issue is, wait a minute, all the Dawah guys that I've been talking to have been filling my head with one idea, and it took literally seconds to completely destroy. Maybe I can't trust these guys. Maybe I shouldn't mindlessly be trusting everything these guys say when it only took a few seconds to show that I'm being lied to, and it just doesn't bother him at all. And I don't know what to do with that. When you're dealing with a person, so you can have an atheist, a Christian, a Muslim, a Jew, everyone, and even if they have disagreements, you can have people who are actually concerned about the truth and getting to it. But then I don't know what you do when someone's just like, oh, okay, yeah, I've been lied to, and the guys I'm hanging out, they keep lying to me, and they're clearly lying to me and manipulating me, but I'm cool with it. I don't know what to do at that point.
But think about it. That calls into question, like, is he even sincere?
That's true.
I mean, when I was speaking to him, I got the impression that he's here, he's doing some sort of like, I don't know, stunt where he wants to see what Speaker's Corner is. There's cameras around. I mean, you know, the level of argumentation he was engaged in was terrible. It was really bad, and he knew nothing. He knew nothing about his own faith or Christian faith. So you had Christians like Ananda, like Sig, like others as well, who were debating at the time, and David, who were trying to explain to him basic things about Christianity, and he was just unaware of it. So these debaters had to go back to the very basics to be like, okay, so Christians believe in something called the Trinity, and you know, and all these basic things people had to explain to him, and that leads me to think, I don't know if this guy's for real. I really don't. I think he might just do this.
This is the thing with these people. They don't expect anything.
Hold on. What do you mean, you people?
The issue with these people is like all that matters is, even Ali Dawa pointed this out in a video where he was responding to stuff about Andrew Tate, and then he brought up the narrative of the scientific miracles of the Quran. You know, that very video where he said that the scientific narrative is has been debunked, but he himself, he turned toward Islam because of the scientific miracles, but now he acknowledges that it is not true, that it has been debunked, that there are no scientific miracles. But still, it doesn't matter, because that's how Allah drew him in, and the rest, will just come somehow. So, and here again with Sneako, it doesn't matter if he actually knows about anything at all. It doesn't matter if he has, if he might not know a single thing about Islam. It doesn't matter. What matters is that they took him in. He has become part of Islam. They have now all the time in the world to educate him. And the way it looks right now, if the trajectory continues as it is,
the trajectory continues as it is.
He will never learn a single thing, but that doesn't matter, because as said, he has all the time in the world. And compare this to other faiths. You see with your own Christian community how you wouldn't just roll with something like this. We have recently looked at the Jewish community. They have extremely high expectations of somebody who converts to go through some serious education and show that he knows, in order to then recognize that this person is actually a convert. With Muslims, it doesn't matter. It's just, okay, hop on board. We don't care if you know anything. Yeah.
In fact, the less you know, the better.
Yep.
We want a completely ignorant person that we can write our Dawah script onto.
Yeah. Well, this is what they do. They have all these like public Dawah stands, like in the UK. They've actually moved away from Speaker's Corner now a lot, mostly because there's now Christian debaters there, and they've kind of made this uniform decision collectively that they won't engage with Christian debaters anymore. They go out to other places now and have their own Dawah stores. I see that as an admission of defeat, to be honest, but they don't want to debate.
Hold on, Chris. I saw Ali Dawa telling some Muslim, they were asking about the state of Speaker's Corner, and he was saying Christians have been so thoroughly destroyed there that basically any Muslim can own all the Christians there.
You know what's funny?
You're saying that's not correct, and that Ali Dawa is possibly just spouting complete lies.
Yeah, I have a funny feeling he might have told a bit of a porky there. Well, you know what I mean. Not pork, but he told a lie. And yeah.
Wait, hey, we can't move past that right now. Is that an actual term? You call a lie a porky?
Yeah.
Really?
You never heard that?
That's normal. I've never heard that in my entire life.
No.
Or you should come to UK. We can get you familiar with all the lingo.
Porky.
UNAP.
Interesting. Porky. Like is that like very common? Like anyone in Great Britain would understand if I said, "Hey, that guy told a porky."
You know what? It sounds weird coming from an American accent, but if you said it in a more British way, it probably would sound fine. Yeah.
Like,
I
oh,
think
hey,
it was
governor,
dark.
don't be telling the porky that, eh?
Yeah, what
Then
are
they
you
would
talking
understand.
about, mate?
Yeah, that sounds better. That sounds.
Or what if it was like what if it was like a Richard Dawkins saying like, and my opponent here is obviously telling a porky about the history of science.
Yeah, that works as well.
That works?
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
That's good. That's good. All right. Carry on. We're good.
But yeah, so Muslims are largely avoiding debates. There are tons of videos online now where Christian debaters are going up to Muslim debaters and they're just saying, no, don't want to engage with you. They're coming up with excuses. So, you know, that is what it is. But so they go elsewhere and they tell naive individuals, you know, Islam is amazing. Islam is just one God. You know, it doesn't have all these issues that Christianity does. It's always in comparison to Christianity. And they'll dumb down all the bad things if they've ever heard of any. And then they get them to say the Shahada. They say, hey, I tell you what, you could become a Muslim right now. You just need to say these words. Now repeat after me. And they make them say it in Arabic. And then they leave it. And then the other person just goes. And it's a totally meaningless, not profound, silly, like conversation they had. That it doesn't mean anything to the person. And they will make a video of this and they'll record them, even if the other person doesn't know they're recording.
More people converting.
Exactly. It's so
did you
fake.
know that you can convert just by saying these words? Okay, say these words with me. Okay, you got it. Okay, now get out of here.
Yeah. Like, to be honest with you, it wouldn't surprise me if they had like a banner with the Shahada written, and they just say, "Hey, by the way, could you do me a favor? Could you just read those words?" And then
okay, now get out of here.
Alhamdulillah. Yeah. And this was a thing. I don't know what the latest statistics were, but I remember I got a Muslim pamphlet. This was probably, I don't know, 2007, 2008, but it was a Muslim pamphlet informing other Muslims about how they need to take conversions more seriously. It was giving statistics, and it was saying that around 60% of Muslim reverts leave Islam within 2 years. And that was way back then, when if you were converting to Islam, it was because you had a Muslim friend and he invited you to the mosque and so on, and then you do your conversion. This isn't just like, oh, we walked up to someone on a street and got him to say a few words. So in other words, I would guess that 60% is significantly higher if you're just trying to get people off the street to say some words, and are they actually going to last as serious converts? And so these guys don't realize they're making more ex-Muslims. That's what they're doing. If you're going up and getting someone to recite something who then isn't going to take it seriously and is just going to not be a Muslim for the rest of his life, you just made an ex-Muslim.
Hey, that sounds like a good strategy. Ex-Muslims should go out and try to just shallowly convert people to Islam, just to then make them leave Islam.
And their own community, the ex-Muslim community would grow like crazy.
Yeah. Then we can say, hey, look,
Whoa, what are you guys
ex-Muslims
talking
everywhere.
about? The ex-Muslim community is the largest community in the world. Because, you know, everyone is born a Muslim.
That's true.
And then everyone at some point leaves Islam. So there are more ex-Muslims than there are anyone else.
Alhamdulillah.
Powerful stuff. All right, let's watch a little bit more of this.
That the Quran is not perfectly preserved. Because
No, I'll read that book and I'll see if that's the case. It's the first time I've heard that.
Okay.
Chris, did you believe Sneako when he said he's going to read that book?
Well, if he can read, then no, I don't think he would. I don't get any sincerity from that. I do genuinely hope for the man. You know, as a Christian, I do genuinely want the best for him.
He actually seems like a nice guy who got too popular too fast. That's what he seems like.
I don't know.
Have you guys ever wondered, you know, if we weren't in this and we weren't sort of, you know, either preaching Christianity or atheism, so to speak, and we were against
that's what AP does.
And we were like talking against Islam. Do you think that there are some people that we would actually get along with? Like if we were just like in a room.
We've talked about that. We've talked about that before. We've talked about that in the sense of, and we kind of agree that we would not. It would not matter what Muhammad Hijab or Ali Dawah believed. We would not get along with them. So they could become Christians. They could become atheists. They could become anything. They could suddenly agree with us on everything. We would just not get along with these guys personality wise. Other guys. It sounds weird, but even Daniel Hakikachu, if he dropped all the evil nonsense, he seems like someone that I would otherwise get along with if he hadn't absorbed all these horrible ideas. But Sneako looks like someone that you could get along with.
I have to disagree there on Daniel Kikin.
Would you get? Yeah, you wouldn't, because
kind of creepy.
Yeah, he is. But I'm, we got the psychopath and dissocial psychopath.
Yeah.
Sajid were cool. I think we've agreed that we've agreed that we would probably get along with Fareed.
Yeah. But I personally like Sajid. I still think, despite the fact that he ideologically hates me, which he openly says, I like the guy. I genuinely think he's a good guy. He's not dishonest, not messed up. He has some integrity and all that.
He has higher hikmah.
Yeah, he's
a high hikmah individual.
Yeah, he has
high hikmah
maximum
guy.
Yep. Maximum hikmah, that definitely.
Yeah, he went to the doctor, got the blood test. They said high hikmah. This guy's got high hikmah.
They said your hikmah is very, very high.
I just realized that high hikmah sounds dangerously similar to something really bad. Anyway, sorry, carry on.
Is that more British slang? Because we have no idea what you're talking about.
Really? Okay, yeah. Forget it then. Just, yeah.
Well, what's funny is Mohammed Hijab in the past said to me that that we could have been good friends, or we might be good friends in the future, where I revert to Islam or something like that. And I said to him, yeah, I don't think so.
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, not a lot of scenarios where we get along with that guy. All right, let's see what we got here.
In one reading, he does it for all 10. So you can read the differences in the Quran for all different 10 valid readings according to Islamic scholars.
Great.
Cool. So do you accept then that the Quran is not perfectly preserved?
No, I'll read that book and I'll see if that's the case. It's the first time I've heard that.
Okay. Well, all right. I think you can see the point that the Quran isn't perfectly preserved, as far as I'm concerned.
Okay.
That's according to you.
Sneako nodded.
Well, that's according to the scholars I quoted. I mean, you can ask Mohammed Hijab, he has the same view.
Because the question is, which one is divinely revealed?
Well, it gets a bit more complicated because there's supposed to be 7 aluf.
Also, keep in mind that you guys are Christians. You guys misinterpret everything.
Okay. So that's called ad hominem.
AP, you catching this? Keep in mind, you guys are Christians. You misinterpret everything.
Oh yeah.
Did you see that? Let's back this up. So
I just realized what Chris meant when he said high hikmah sounds like something else. But yeah, go ahead.
I see, you got it. All right.
I'm just in the dark here because I don't have the perverted mind that the rest of these guys apparently have.
It's not perverted, just
okay.
Yeah. Controversial.
Well, it gets a bit more complicated because there's supposed to be 7 aluf.
Also, keep in mind that you guys are Christians. You guys misinterpret everything.
Okay. So that's called ad hominem.
Why would we
that's called ad hominem.
You think a man is God.
That's ad hominem. Ad hominem. Calm down. No need to attack someone.
I mean,
it's just ad hominem. Ad hominem means against them. It's a fallacy that people use in debate when they can't actually address the point.
I'm having a conversation.
So let's address the point. So according to Islamic Sunnah, the Hadith, Muhammad says there is 7 viable different ways that you can recite the Quran. They're called the Aruf. I can get the Hadith, it's Sahih al-Bukhari and others as well. So that must mean there are 7 ways of reciting the Quran. But according to your scholars, there's 10. How did that happen?
That's the first time I'm hearing that.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
I love that. That's it. That's interesting. Translation. See, that's interesting. Translation. Isn't it interesting that they've been telling you all this stuff and no one ever bothers to tell you anything that I'm telling you, and that you have to get basic fundamental information about the Quran from a Christian, not from these guys. And what are these guys telling you? We don't believe the Christian, who's the only person here who's giving you anything remotely resembling accurate information.
Hey, let me let you in on a secret here. The guys, the Muslim, the big guy here who is trying to protect Sneako from going astray here.
He's doing a crap job of it.
Not only that, but just culturally speaking, I'm familiar with the cultural background. What you're doing here, Chris, by knowing more than he does and delivering more to Sneako than he does, this guy is taking that in a really, really bad way. You're hurting his honor. It's as if you were, impressing his wife and taking his wife away or something like that. That's basically how he feels.
Yeah, and by the way, Chris, along those same lines, I'm actually shocked. Like you said the conversation didn't go nearly as long as you wanted. I'm shocked that it went on as long as it did, just because interactions it's normally with if someone's talking to a teenager, like when Nabil and I would be at a festival and a group of 15-year-olds would come up and start asking questions, like the older they lose their minds at the thought of these 15-year-olds talking to like a Christian apologist or something like that. And so they will find a way. In that case, it was like false police complaints and stuff like that to get us in trouble in order to stop this from going on. So I'm actually impressed that it went on as long as it did, and these guys didn't jump in a little more forcefully to shut it down.
I think it was because they just didn't have the kind of resources to do it. I think this I Am the Warner guy, the guy to the right of Sneako, I think he was basically told, just stick with this guy, make sure Sneako doesn't get into any debates that he can't handle, which is any debate. And I think that because you can't see it, but in the background there's actually Muhammad Hijab. He's basically behind I Am the Warner.
And, he's back there.
Yeah, he's back there. He's debating other Christians who took the opportunity to debate him. And to be fair, Muhammad Hijab does actually debate, which is quite nice, to be honest, because not many people do anymore. So at one point, I Am the Warner actually goes to Muhammad Hijab and he whispers something to him. And I think this might have been like a call for backup or something. Because
come save Sneako. But what would Hijab say about this, except for, no, actually, Chris is completely correct.
Well, if the
trajectory continues,
if the trajectory continues, then we need to get Sneako out of here. But yeah, they and I think both these guys are just unexperienced, and there wasn't the manpower to do it. But you're right; that's normally what would happen. Someone would step in, whisper in his ear, tell him, or just come in and be like, "We need to pray. It's time to pray." That's common one as well.
That's standard. Yeah, hey, we got a call over here, man. You got to answer this. Hey, we got something you need to do. Very, very common. So let that be a lesson to you, Dawa guys. Protect Sneako better. It's just amazing that how perfect of a representation this is as far as what's been going on in the world. For 14 centuries, Muslim leaders were able to keep people insulated like Sneako. So they get to program them with whatever they want and they don't hear anything from outside. All of a sudden we get to the age of the internet and now you have access to people and people start leaving Islam like crazy. But then you get these individual converts and they have to do the same thing. Keep him insulated. Follow him around. Don't let him get in any discussions because it's going to destroy his confidence in Islam. And then it's just not working, just like it's not working in the world as a whole. So
did you guys see I don't know if you saw the clips, but there's a clip where
I only saw this one.
Runs away. You only saw this one. There's a lot more.
I think he runs away here. I think he runs away here.
No, yeah, he does, but no, I mean, he literally runs away. Like he literally
like
runs.
He sprints.
He actually runs into. Yeah, he sprints into the distance. I've never seen anything like it.
He runs to the horizon.
Really? There's an ex-Muslim Christian who goes up to him along with another apologist, and basically Sneako says something like, "Can you?" Or someone asks him, "If we can show you Jesus is God in the Bible, will you become a Christian?" And just immediately Sneako goes, "Yes." And so the Christians have
Hey, Chris. Little side note, I'm wondering if he has some personality issue where if someone is in front of him saying, "Do you agree with this? Do you understand this? Do you?" I wonder if he just has like a psychological desire to be pleasing. That it's what is it in psychology, AP? The high agreeableness factor. That he might be really high on the agreeableness scale. And just agreeing with all this. So, hey, if I show you right here that Jesus is God, yeah, no problem. Okay, so look right here. Here it is. Oh, yeah, okay, Jesus is God. No, the Quran's perfectly preserved. Okay, I agree. It's weird stuff.
I can tell you what's going to happen if you do that. If you show him that the Bible actually affirms these beliefs, and even more, what he will do is he will just immediately turn to somebody else, another Muslim, and that Muslim will then tell him, "Oh, no, that part of the Bible, we reject that based on this and this and this and this and that," and he will just copy those words and respond with them to you, and that's it. Like that's what Sajid Lipim did, for example. He had the complete wrong idea of the Bible or of the Gospels, and when I showed him how the Gospels totally affirm Christian beliefs, he then deflected by saying, "Oh no, and we don't accept all of these anyway, and this is from a Christian perspective, from a Christian lens," and Sneako would just adopt such a talking point from those people and then respond with that. I just don't think that you can genuinely convince this person because he's not serious.
Yeah, I think that's a really good point. I think it is basically that. But yeah, he runs. He can't actually.
AP, we may need to have a part 2, AP, to go through some of these other clips that Chris is talking about.
I think you do, because there's a lot.
Yeah.
And to be honest with you, I would say it's actually worse than this encounter. I think this is actually the easy one for Sneako. When I come up to him, ask him some questions, he can't answer them and he walks away. But there's some other videos where he tries to be a bit more and he actually tries to respond. And there are some Christians who just handled this amazingly. And yeah, you should totally check it out, especially when he runs away, because that's hilarious.
Oh yeah, we will check that out. Let's take a couple of super chats real quick because there are a bunch of them, and then we'll go back to this video. So Joshua, yeah, I will next time I'm with Robert Spencer for This Week in Jihad. Remind me. I think I'll remember, but I will tell him to keep me notified of when he's heading to your area of the country to speak, and then I will message you. Let's see. Tate and Sneako know if they convert to, if they become Muslims, a big group of people will support them no matter what they do. Yeah, we found that as well. Like there's one group that if you just say, hey, I'm joining this group, it kind of doesn't matter. You could be a sex trafficker, a rapist, a pedophile. It doesn't matter. And they're going to, yay, he's our new guy. That is true.
That's true.
Daniel Apologetics, no content warning, literally genocide. That is true. Chris is a member on my channel, so I'm forwarding his jizya tax today while feeling subdued, fully humbled.
Nice.
That's cool. That's Daniel Apologetics, everybody. We should get Daniel Apologetics on here one day.
Yeah,
we now have daily Quran quote. We now have daily Quran quotes on our UK trains. Is that true?
Yes. Did you see this?
No.
I saw this earlier today. So in the UK, you go into like a train station and they have these boards, and one of the things that they include is just random information, and it's been changed to hadith quotes, and I think it says like hadith of the day, and the hadith that they picked, the hadith that's like all of the sons of Adam have sinned, and Allah loves those sons of Adam who repent, or something like that. Which is quite a interesting choice of hadith, but they went with that. I can try and find the picture.
Wait! They didn't go with I will expel the Jews and Christians from the Arabian Peninsula and will not leave any but Muslims. They didn't go with that one.
Oh no, that's next week.
What about the what about the Jews? The Jews hiding behind rocks and trees. They don't quote that one.
Funny enough, they don't. I think it's an automated thing though, right? Because I've got apps and there's like Hadith of the Day apps. Surely they just have a database, and surely it's just randomized, I would assume. So every once in a while, a Hadith will come up that's just really, really awkward. Your Hadith of the day is Muhammad had sex with Aisha.
Is this privately owned and organized, or why is this? How is this happening?
I think it's well, I would assume that some Islamic organizations have lobbied the UK in some sense, or some organization that's owned by the UK government to do this as part of some awareness of Ramadan. So, for example, there are areas.
So it's a Ramadan thing, or is that going to continue?
I think it's a Ramadan thing.
Oh, okay, that makes sense.
Fairly sure it is.
But do you also have at any point in throughout the year Christian messages in the same way, like Bible verses or anything like that?
Like for Christmas or something? No?
Yeah, well, not even for Christmas. It tends to be Happy Holidays, right? But I mean, so for us, it's Lent at the moment. So really, you could argue that the Christian should be having their message for Lent.
Should be going back at the least. It should be going back and forth, right, for equality.
Yeah, but it isn't. We don't get all the the streets covered with Ramadan things and
you might want to get someone. You might want to station someone at these train stations to just get the recordings of the Hadith of the Day situation, because some of them might be worthy of commentary at some point. Now, in other words, that would make a good video. Get someone recording all these and then discuss them in the video and maybe go through some of the context.
You know what's messed up?
What isn't messed up?
the UK is still officially a Christian country. Like America is different. America is a secular country by the Constitution, by law. The UK is still officially Christian, and
Yep.
there you have the absence of Christianity on such things, but you have Islam. Wow.
Yeah, the Church of England is there's advantages to having it separated, like you guys have. Yeah, that's a whole topic in and of itself. But you're right, we're a minority, but it is technically a Christian nation. We have supposedly a Christian king.
Knox says, the fact that Michaela Peterson visited Tate in Romania blows my mind. Kind to this day. She claims nothing happened, but I have my doubts. What a stupid comment to bring up in the middle of it. What kind of stupid comment is this, Knox? Now, notice what you're assuming, Knox. If a woman goes because she's been offered a business opportunity, she must actually be going to get banged by the guys. That's a stupid idea, and you have a pretty low view of women there. But the other thing is, there's almost no way she did anything with Tate, because Tate would be using that as leverage to make her father shut up about him. And her father kept blabbing about him. And if Tate is a guy that had that kind of leverage over someone, he would have used it. So and keep in mind, I have no loyalty to Michaela Peterson, but I mean, it's I don't know, it seems obvious to me.
Yeah, I just want to say, I personally never cared about it at all. And I don't think you should either, Knox.
Yeah.
No. Oh, yeah. What's up? Yeah. Oh, but what if she was getting banged? Let me run to every live stream. What about Michaela Peters? Did she get banged by Tate?
Mohammed Burka says, oh, that's like Mohammed Hijab, but he dialed up even more. You see, Taco Bell and chocolate showers. Wait, what? Taco Bell and chocolate showers? Get on your knees, Gimp boy. Oh, he's imitating Mohammed Hijab. Let me sack your co-host. Yeah, that does. These are the kinds of messages that we have from Mohammed Hijab. It's like golden showers. Pretty creepy.
Yeah, but Taco Bell and chocolate showers sounds a lot worse. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, we get some creepy people. That's what you get from the Dawa crowd.
Yeah.
Brothers, please do not mock Brother Sean King. The brother needs a little fundraiser, which happens to many Muslim brothers, such as my friend who is a Nigerian prince with terminal cancer of 20 years.
Nice.
Hey, Chris, do you know Ananda?
Yes, I do. This was the guy who was standing next to me in this video. He's on my left. You hear him sort of interject a few points during the video.
Yeah.
But he spoke with Sneako before I did. He was the first one to speak with him, and he did a really amazing job. So much credit to this guy. I believe he was a Shia Muslim, and then he converted about 6 or 7 months ago to Christianity.
Not a real Muslim.
He was never
a real.
You know what's funny though? We realized that, particularly Ananda realized this. Ananda knows more Arabic than Sneako does. And like like everyone was using Arabic terms because Muslims, they tend to be more familiar with that. But Sneako has no idea. Like, just completely ignorant of so much of it.
Sneako knows halal. That's all, I think.
Yeah. Yeah. So again, I'll have to see the live stream, but yeah, apparently he still doesn't even know the Shahada. And once again, I'm saying this is not to attack Sneako. It's just how they're taking advantage of ignorant people, and how this, in the current setup, it can be mutual. It could be mutual manipulation. They're using these guys like Andrew Tate and Sneako and so on for their Dawa cred, and the reverts are using Islam for to get attention, or to get themselves victim status, or to get a support group for anything they want to do, and so on. And so you're just going to be seeing more of this, Muslims. And for those of you Muslims who are actually sincere in your belief, I would advise you to actually take this seriously, because it's going to be a huge problem. And you heard it here. You heard it here, folks.
Oh, yeah.
David Wood, can you confirm the world's largest open-air prison is Australia? Yes, the entire crap island, don't even call it a continent, is populated entirely by criminals. And if a black stone can forgive sins, the next Dawa guy will be a rock. That is true. Oh, hey, yeah, well, I saw this one too. I've only seen it, but yeah, Lil Jon just converted too. That'd be another notch on the Dawa belt. Yeah, yeah.
Wait, Wait, what?
What? What? Lil Jon. Yeah. Yeah, I've seen that. That's interesting. What's amazing is, like, I have no reason to think that Lil Jon knows anything he's talking about in the areas of religion or something like that. But he'd be massively more credible than than a sex trafficker or something like that. But that makes me wonder if he just converted, what's going on behind the scenes. Like, did he just find out he's about to be indicted on 27 crimes, and so I'm a Muslim now?
I think that's a real thing, though.
They know Muslims defend anything, so they converted. Yes, if you are facing a lot of issues and arrest or anything else, and you want a community that's going to just completely defend you to the death, yeah, we know where to go. I've missed... What are you laughing at?
I can already imagine. I don't know anything about this, but I can imagine people are like, "Don't you see the great celebrity, most
The greatest
famous
rapper of all
man,
time.
most famous man in America converted to
Yes.
Islam."
That's how they go. I've missed so many streams lately. Do you have a certain days you stream on? We're normally Snipe. We're normally pretty consistent about Saturday and Sunday. The rest of the week is a little more random. In that, if we're free and there's some topic we want to cover, we'll just say, "Hey, you want to go live?" and we'll go live.
And you also have to make sure that you only stream when the British people are sleeping. That's another thing you guys do, I've noticed.
Yeah,
only when British people are asleep.
Yeah, AP, seriously, we do need to pick a day where we just make sure that we go live at like 3 in the afternoon or something like that for Europeans. Okay. Do you even know what we're talking about, Chris, with Lil Jon?
I have no idea.
Okay, so
isn't Lil Jon the guy from Robin Hood or something? Am I thinking?
No, well, yeah, originally, but yeah, Lil Jon. No, yeah, so he's a rapper, and he would, he'd be in a video in a car, and he'd be going, "What?" right, and stuff like that. But Dave Chappelle made a joke about it, like as if he talks like this all the time, and all he ever says is, "What? Okay," and he has conversations, but that's all he ever says, and that became like everyone started doing that. And anyway, that's the guy who just converted.
Oh man, if he's a Muslim, man,
yeah, that's power. Matter of fact, we can make a video. It sucks because we need someone. I'm wondering if John McCrae could do it. If we think of someone who could do it, be like, after we've presented all this evidence, do you believe that the Quran has been perfectly preserved? Okay. Do you believe that Muhammad's a true prophet? Yeah. Right. And maybe that's how they got him to convert.
And then when somebody's trying to make him say the Shahada, like, okay, speak after me. Ashhadu anna.
What? What? Dude, we got to make a skit about that. Dude, hey, AP, if you want to roll his shake your booty, I'll get John McCrae to be Lil Jon, and you could be shake your booty giving him his Shahada. How awesome would that be? That would be classic, man.
Let's do this.
That would be classic video.
Let us do this.
I made my super chat before the stream started, and now it's lost. It was the perfect move. Yeah, that happens to people. It sucks. People put in a super chat before we start, and I just have no access to them. I've read the book of Hosea recently, and this quote from God made me cry. "How can I give you up, Ephraim? How can I hand you over, O Israel? Does the Quran have emotional poems like this by Allah?" No, Allah does not love you if you don't believe in Muhammad. Oh, hey, here we go. Sneako's lack of knowledge on Islam only strengthens my iman. Do you guys get that over in the UK with the anytime they don't know how to answer something, they just go, "This is strengthening my iman."
Yeah, all the time. There's so much collectiveness, like just groups of Muslims will just come on to defend something that's basically undefendable. It's like Muhammad Hijab saying, yes, the Quran, if you just take the Quran, it does seem to be affirming an extreme form of pedophilia. Oh, this statement has affirmed my iman. I feel, and you're like, what? How does that affirm your iman? That's terrible.
Yeah, I noticed that it's when I would present a point, and this started. It really took off probably 5 years ago, and it was I did my video a question no Muslim can answer or something like that, and it was just and I said in the thumbnail, it was I'll convert if you can actually answer this. And it was very simple. It was very, very simple. Show me a verse anywhere in the Quran that says the gospel's been corrupted. That was it. So that was the challenge. And then they tried to use Surah 2, verse 79. They tried to use 3, 178. Completely destroyed those. In fact, I made like a 30-minute video going through 26 different reasons that their favorite verse, 279, can't possibly be referring to corruption of the gospel. And so they at first they tried, and Adnan Rashid, he posted a video, and his video was basically, but the Quran contradicts the Bible, so the Quran can't be affirming the Bible, which is just stupid. Yes, we know the Quran contradicts the Bible.
So stupid.
That's part of the problem.
So
But all the Muslims, aha, Brother Rashid destroy David Wood. Is David Wood going to convert? It's like, you didn't answer the question. Where does the Quran say this? And anyway, but then it just became like a flood of this is increasing my iman. So there was that, and then I was a Muslim before watching this, and now I'm still a Muslim. And then it became like they had to keep one-upping each other. So then it became, I showed this video to my friend who's a priest, and he converted to Islam when he saw it. And then it would get like 1,000 likes, and then but they would keep upping each other. I showed this to 7 friends who are priests, and they all converted, and they're all like, "Oh wow, this is destroying Christianity. David didn't anticipate this." It's like, are you guys actually believing your own insane lies that you tell when you can't answer a question? And it's like, it's just, gosh, how long can they keep this up, man?
These people are actually actual imbeciles. Like the smartest guy, the smartest among them, who attempts to give a response to it, doesn't even understand it and fails at some basic logic here, which is like you say, does the Quran at any point deny the preservation or the affirmation of the Bible? So but it points out that it actually confirms the Bible. And this guy, what he does in response to that is, well, I am a Muslim, and obviously I believe that Allah authored the Quran and that Allah is never wrong. He knows everything. Therefore, whatever the Quran says is Allah's word. So when the Quran then contradicts with the Bible, this is clear proof that the Quran rejects the preservation, the affirmation of the Bible, because the Quran is true. Okay, great, fantastic. You have completely failed the point, completely failed the logic here. Fantastic. And these are the smartest apologists.
Hey, Pete. Yeah, the whole community is like the community with the final revelation and the final prophet, and it's all the best, and everything else has been corrupted, and that's why they're doing so well and so smart, and they're so smart. So,
gosh.
hey, P, before we jump back in this video, here's one that's actually
Norman Finkelstein would say, "Please stop being a moron." Yeah, that's what Norman Finkelstein would say.
Hey, AP, this seems like a tangent, but this actually is a good idea. So, AP, what is the difference between gender identity and gender expression? I think Shake Your Booty would know if you asked him. Dude, you should have a show like Shake Your Booty Answers, and it's like people can ask them these questions about gender identity and gender expression, all this stuff, and like Shake Your Booty gives these awesome answers.
I always wanted to do that. I thought I should.
You should be doing this regular. That should be like he should have his own channel. He should have a Shake Your Booty channel where like twice a week you post Shake Your Booty videos where you answer people's questions.
The Shake Your Booty Show.
The Shake Your Booty Show.
Yeah.
All right. Let's jump back, watch a little bit more here.
And there could be a thing like Shake Your Booty reviews the recent news of what's going on right now.
Oh, yeah.
And also
should do it.
Shake Your Booty answers your questions, and that could also always be clipped.
Hey, I've got this audio clip. It starts off because I used to, when I was doing Islamicize Me and so on, I used to get this, I used to look for good Arabic sounding tracks and so on. But I got this one. It starts off this guy humming, and he's going before it starts into it. But like, it seems perfect. Like every time Shake Your Booty shows up, it should he should show up, and then you should hear, "Oh, brothers and sisters." Be awesome. All right.
But according to your scholars, it's 10. How did that happen?
That was the first time I hear that.
Wait, so Chris, break down the issue real quick for them. So you're pointing out that is the hadith say 7 are huruf, because you already covered this, but AP had to interrupt and talk for a bit. The hadith talk about 7 ahruf, and Muslims don't even know what that is. And then you're pointing out, wait a minute, now you got 10. So what happened?
Yeah, there's a naive kind of understanding that the Aruf and the Qira'at are the same thing, but they aren't. The issue is that no one really knows what the Aruf is, but somehow we have 10 known accepted readings, which are the Qira'at, and yet Muhammad talked about only in any sense of like variation in the Quran, there's meant to be 7, right? 7 different ways to recite the Quran correctly. But Muslims believe there are 10 different ways to recite the Quran like correctly. So you need to reconcile this in some way. And people like Dr. Yasser Qadi and others have written on this. And basically, there isn't really a convenient answer.
No.
Like, we don't know if Uthman burnt all the Aruf, like apart from one, or if he somehow tried to preserve them. But if he preserved them, like how on earth did he do that?
Mm-hmm.
Was he going against Muhammad when Muhammad said it's meant to be recited in 7 ways? But Uthman was like, no, too confusing. Let's burn all these and do it in one. Like it's weird. No easy answers.
Yeah. So guys, we end up with these different Quran versions that are used in different parts of the world. So you got these 10 different Qurans, these 10 different versions of the Quran. And so if they weren't somehow clinging to perfect preservation in some sense, this wouldn't be an issue. It'd say, okay, you had textual variants. Not a huge issue. It's only a huge issue when you're clinging to this kind of perfect preservation and Allah is miraculously preserving your book. So when we bring up these different qira'at, the response is, but the hadith say that Allah revealed it in these different ways. And what Chris is pointing out is that the Quran refers to 7 ahruf, and these are not the same thing. And then you have the additional issue of supposedly these 7 different ahruf or modes went through a filtration system where Uthman started burning them to cover up the differences. And so wait, how do you get to 10 different versions now that all go back to Muhammad if it was revealed in 7 ways, and then those 7 ways were apparently cleansed? Or do you want to say they weren't cleansed and he somehow kept them, but suppose he kept it? How do you get to 10 now? Where are you getting these extra versions here? Something along those lines, right?
Yeah, that's exactly it. It's the miracle of interpretation, like just how you see it, you got to see it the right way.
Powerful stuff. And guys, there is, just so you know, there is no answer on this, right? They don't know what the ahruf are. You can make, scholars have made suggestions and so on. They don't know how it connects. And this is what Sheikh Yasser Qadi was really coming unraveled about in the famous Holes in the Narrative interview. Lots of us use the holes in the narrative. The standard narrative has holes in it. Lots of us use that to kind of make fun of the claim that there's only one Quran perfectly preserved, with and as if he's saying that standard narrative. He was actually saying, he's actually granting that there are issues with the ahruf and the qira'at, and the holes in the narrative that he was talking about was the narrative that we can actually explain the different Qurans in terms of the Uthmanic recension and the different ahruf. And he's saying, and Muslim scholars will offer their responses, and he's pointing out that actually non-Muslim scholars, they don't have this this line that they won't cross. They'll start pressing us on our explanations, and our explanations don't work. And his conclusion is that our narrative actually has holes in it. Not perfect preservation. He knows that's complete nonsense. The narrative that we can actually explain how all this stuff goes back to Muhammad, that's got some holes in it. And he's basically, I'm going to work on it to figure it out, but it's
what
not
does it
working
have?
Holes in the narrative.
Oh, okay.
Called the Aruf. I can get the Hadith, it's Sahih al-Bukhari and others as well. So that must mean there are 7 ways of reciting the Quran. But according to your scholars, there's 10. How did that happen?
That was the first time I'm hearing that.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
You should look it up. Because what people are saying is that actually, Uthman, Uthman canonized the Quran. Do you know about that canonization process?
No. What's that?
Okay, so the third caliph. Yeah, so Uthman put together a committee around 652 time to around 656. And he put together this committee to collect different Quranic materials from different places.
Again, I am shocked that these guys are letting you talk this much. Like, these are the worst. These are the worst. You can't call them bodyguards. You can call them idea guards or something like this. But they're doing a terrible job. Guys at At letting Chris speak, you're doing a great job, but your actual purpose there to keep Sneako from hearing any of this, you guys are doing a terrible job.
Somebody should call Child Protective Services. This is terrible.
Reports of people arguing about what the Quran was, because they differed. He then decided to standardize it into one Qurayshi dialect, to one standard reading. And then he burnt all the other Quranic materials and he sent it out to the 5 different cities. So you had Kufa, Sham, Medina, Mecca, and so on. My point is that if there's meant to be 7 readings, where are they?
I don't know. Where do you think they are?
I think they were destroyed. I think that 6 out of 7 valid readings for your Quran are destroyed and they're not preserved.
They are within all the recitation we have today.
6 out of 7 is the majority. It's a vast majority.
Who do you think destroyed them?
This is my good friend Sam.
What's that?
I was just gonna say the guy speaking there is a heckler, very very frequent heckler called Sam Dower, and he has his own YouTube channel. He's like a cameraman, but he loves to just disrupt anything that looks like it's going well for Christians. So as you can imagine, he's quite busy, and he's just coming in and just saying, I don't even know what he's saying, but you know.
I love him, absolutely love him.
Who do you think destroyed them?
Uthman.
Why do you think?
I don't know. We don't know. I mean, it's a scholarly question. We don't actually know what Uthman destroyed. It just says that there were Quranic manuscript material that was destroyed. It was burnt, but they never elaborate on what that was. So in effect,
You don't think you're just projecting about how all the
is this another ad hominem?
just a
Another ad hominem? Okay.
AP, watch. Let me back up a little bit. Watch. All this guy wants to do. Keep in mind, Chris is sharing information. If Chris says something is wrong, if Chris says something that's wrong or false, the correct response would be, actually, Chris, you don't know what you're talking about. Let's check this hadith or something like that. Instead, it's you're just projecting your own insecurities about the Bible onto us. Like, Chris is like, wait a minute. This is like in your books. Sneako knows nothing about any of this. He doesn't know about the Kirat. He doesn't know about the Ahruf. He doesn't know about what happened with Ummah. He doesn't know any of this. I have to tell him because you guys don't. And then, you're just projecting your own insecurity. We're not insecure. We're not the ones who are insecure.
Yeah. By saying that very thing there, he's showing that he has these insecurities. That's what he's doing.
So
he's projecting. He's projecting. He's exactly doing what he accuses Chris of doing.
So let's see what he does here.
It was destroyed. It was burnt, but they never elaborate on what that was. So in effect,
you don't think you're just projecting about how all the
is this another ad hominem?
just a
another ad hominem? Okay, so ad hominem.
Projecting? Because how all the Bible hold on. You don't think you're just projecting?
Hold on. You're going to Speaker's Corner.
That's a two-called fallacy.
You don't think you're just projecting your insecurity?
Ad hominem.
That's a two-called fallacy. Whether it was or was not the case that the Bible was preserved or not.
Because that's why I know it's about Christians. You guys just project your insecurities about your religion.
You going? Whoa. You going? He walked off. Right. That was the quickest debate ever.
The Bible. That's fallacious as well. Have you?
I don't know.
I'm a conversationalist. I don't have debates.
Do you want to have debate? Do you want to debate?
I'm a conversationalist. I don't have debates. I just jump in to protect Sneako from hearing anything untoward.
I don't know how to debate. I don't know how.
You know when?
Yeah, because that's what you tried to do to me as well. You tried to turn it on to me.
Your number one objective.
Would you like to debate?
No, I don't.
No, you don't.
I'm just good. I think you have intentions.
Yeah, I just generally want Muslims to know what scholarship says, and then they can make their own mind up.
That's cool. That guy's still there talking to you, chatting a little bit. So it's not all bad. Yeah. But let's go ahead and hear your assessment here.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to approach it.
Sure. All right, take care. Well, that was a lot shorter than I was expecting. I was expecting something longer than that. I came in with basically 2 points, that there is not one single Quran. There's a very minimum 10, according to the scholars of today. I quoted a source, I quoted a book that he could read this from. There are 10 different qira'ats. So he said, I have no idea. And then, which I kind of hope would be, he'd know a bit more by now. I know he's been a Muslim for, I think, maybe over a year or something like that. I don't know, but someone hasn't told him the truth about the Quran. He's been told, and he told me straight at the beginning, there is one perfectly preserved Quran. But when I said, actually, here's some evidence to the contrary, it all fell apart, which is a shame, really. I hope that Sneako actually goes back and looks at these claims and does his own study of the evidence, because the evidence is overwhelming, and it comes from Islamic scholars. That's the funny thing. I'm quoting him, Islamic scholars, and he's like, well, I don't want to know this, and then he leaves. He walks away, which is a shame. Muslims cannot defend their doctrine of perfect preservation. It is a falsehood. It is evident. And yeah, I then brought up the point about the aruf, the fact that there's meant to be 7 acceptable modes of the Quran. Where are they?
Right.
No one knows where they are. They've gone missing. 6 out of 7 different variants of the Quran have gone, which seems a bit bad to me. But hey, hopefully Sneako can go look that up and find out more for himself. And hopefully this will be the first step into leading him back to Christ. Have a genuine faith with Christ, to have truth with you and not be fighting against truth like the Muslims are today.
Right.
Sneako, I hope sincerely you do come to Christ. It would be better than succeeding in falsehood that Islam is. So God bless you all. Come to Christ. Have a great day. God bless.
Alhamdulillah.
So everyone, who do you trust more? Sneako and his buddies there, or Chris?
Sneako, of course.
Obviously Sneako, man. Man, do you know how many followers that guy has? Yeah, definitely Sneako.
Yeah. Well,
you don't get that many followers without doing something,
Yeah,
right?
If
he didn't know what he was doing, he wouldn't have so many followers. Yeah,
that should have been the response. Wait, who are you going to listen to? Sneako, who has millions of followers, or Chris, who doesn't? What? Case closed. That would be. Oh, by the way, along those lines, everyone, I got a link to Chris's channel in the description box, so be sure to subscribe there. Also have a link to the video that we just went through over on Speako, and you can
that was very
Speako
nice.
Films. Yeah,
Very
you can
nice.
you can share that video. And as Chris has pointed out, there's more of Sneako, and I'm sure we will be going through some more Sneako here.
Definitely should, guys. Definitely should.
All right. Well, Chris, we are going to go through super chats now. So I don't know if you have stuff to do, because I know it's super late for you there. So you can cut out now or anytime you want, or you can sit here and hang out. Yep.
Probably gonna go. It is 2:15 in the morning in British land, and yes, I need to go to bed. So
Look at this. Look at this. He's like, okay, Chris, we're done with you. Please leave now. That's basically what he's trying to.
Yeah,
What he's trying
I'm
to
sitting
say.
here. I'm sitting here, realizing that it is very late for this man, and he might not want to sit here listening to AP Babylon about
Sure,
stuff
yeah.
forever. Hey, but Chris, anytime there's something you want to discuss or something cool happens over at Speaker's Corner, and you want to jump in and watch some footage and discuss it, just let us know.
Yeah, we'll do, guys. It's been awesome. Thanks for having me on, and it was good to finally see you, AP.
Same.
Cool
And
stuff,
I enjoyed that video. That was a good encounter, and we should talk more. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely, man.
Yep.
All right then.
See ya.
All right.
Take care, guys.
Mm-hmm. Finally got rid of him. What's that? No, no, he seems pretty cool, right? Yeah, guys. Again, check out Chris is, and he's been really he's been making some good videos. So, and I don't promote videos just from just anyone. All right.
That's true.
Let's check out some super chats. The intellect of Sneako is quite bleako. Also, both of your Finkelstein impressions were hilarious in their own ways, but way off. We do have pretty good Finkelstein impressions.
Mine is, they were the perfect impressions.
It was the perfect impression. What are you talking about? Stop being a moron.
Mr. Borelli, it was
That's pretty
the
good.
perfect impression. Yeah. Anyway.
Ayatollah says, yes, is that a Jew? This is the 7th most popular phrase among the Muslims. The more you know. Yep. Talking about when Sneako's like, is that a Jew?
Yeah.
The Quran has been changed more than the Torah. The Quran has definitely gone through some serious changes. Too Many Marys says the standard recitation style of Hafs doesn't match the standard text of Hafs. So even if Hafs equals the Quran, Hafs Tajweed, Hafs Musaf Siyas. So, yeah, so even the Mary's pointing out that the standard recitation style doesn't even match the Hafs. We're actually going to have a big birthday party because the 1924 Cairo edition, which became the standard edition of the Quran in 1924, And then that became so popular and was spread around, and they started covering up other versions. That became the standard version. And once it spread far, then they said, oh, you see, there's only one Quran. Like, big joke. But anyway, we actually have the birthday of the 1924 Cairo edition of the Quran here this year. So we're going to have a big birthday party and a big birthday cake for the birthday of the Quran.
I need to get some presents for the Quran.
Ooh, what presents could we get?
We'll have to think.
Here's some gasoline.
What?
Some gasoline and a match. That's my... We're all wrapped up. Actually, kind of sad seeing him recite the script, knowing he's about to get schooled. Gotta somewhat feel bad for the guy. Love you guys. Even you.
That is true.
Even you, AP.
Oh, yeah. That's pretty one-sided. Yeah.
What is this? Rue London 1824, and then ears like Dumbo. What's this? You know what this means?
I have no idea.
I don't know what that means. Right, we do London 18 to 24, and then ears like Dumbo. I don't know what that means.
I don't know. I have no idea.
Motorlicious, happy Toyota-thon. How many Splody boys this year? I guess this is a reference to the Ramadan Bombathon, which fortunately we don't have. It reached its peak during the Islamic State stuff back in the day. Fortunately, we don't have as much bloodshed. I was wondering if because of the October 7th stuff that there was going to be a spike in violence this Ramadan. Hasn't really happened so far, so let's hope that continues.
And David is like, unfortunately, there haven't been enough terrorist attacks this time.
Yeah, I don't even get to talk about the Ramadan Bombathon. Unakir says, SOS D Wood, your throat deteriorating. Consult ENT ASAP. No. Loud voice plus long duration plus cold drinks equals vocal damage. Notice you're clearing your throat often. It's called a cold. It's called having a cold, which I've had for a little over a week now. Unless it's COVID. Unless it's COVID.
Why are you saying cold twice? What is it called?
I don't know what you're talking about. Sankai here says, London subway stations posting daily hadith. Yeah, that's interesting. That is interesting. Guys, you should be sharing, I'm sure some people are, but be taking pictures of that stuff and sharing it.
Yeah.
Jizya payments. Yes, we need all the jizya. Ayatollah says, Sneako needs Farfour to pilot him like Ratatouille in order to be a Dawa guy. You won't know what that's like. Do you know what Ratatouille? Do you see that?
Yeah.
It was a rat doing all the cooking, but he can't be a rat cooking, so he would like use the guy like a puppet.
I see.
Yeah, so that's what they need. He's saying he needs Farfour, like Ratatouille, to be piloting him. That would be a funny video if we could make that work somehow. Sneako needs to open his leather straps and wake up. That is true.
I thought the way that Super Chat started, Sneako needs Farfour. I thought it's like, when you say Sneako needs Jesus, but then it would be like Sneako needs Farfour, because I don't know. I thought it was just a twist on that. That's where I thought it was going, but then I realized that doesn't make much sense.
That is indeed the case.
Yes.
Jews are the leather strap of God. They got caught sleeping when the Messiah came and Christians popped out. All ham to Jesus. What is this? Oh, this Muhammad Burqa keeps posting these weird... Peace be upon me. Muslims still crying over Andalus and Palestine, thinking we'll conquer UK, France, Germany. Soon we'll lose Saudi Arabia and Kaaba. Viva la MBS.
I don't know, man. With the UK, it looks like the Muslims got quite far, and to be honest, I don't know. It doesn't. To me, it doesn't look like the future will be like offers a peaceful resolve to that in the UK. That's just how I feel about it.
Yeah, back when people were warning you guys about the spread of Islam, you just said everyone who is warning you must be a racist or something like that, even though it was like ex-Muslims and stuff who were also warning you.
They still do. They're still saying that.
Yeah. basically people back then were trying to give you a peaceful way of dealing with this issue, and you're getting to the point where you're not going to be able. Yeah, you giant morons. You are going to be stuck with some very, very difficult problems and no good way to solve them at all. Like no matter what you do, it ends badly.
Yeah.
So you did it to yourself. Motorlicious says, remember that trend when every celebrity at the end of their career would make an appearance on TBN and claim they found Jesus to grift? I think Telcom X is in the same category. Definitely some grifting with Telcom X. Sneako about to totally expose and destroy Islam even more than Mimi Hijab, Sheikh Yashikade, Ali Derwa, and Farid leaks combined. Very sneaky Sneako. Yeah, this is all these conversions of these jokers. This does not go well for Islam in the end.
This is just so funny to me. Like, of everyone that you can have, it's like they go with Sneako
and Andrew Tate. Top G, he's top G.
Oh man!
Just wait, Islamophobes. Sneako is about to fly off on Barack. That would have been funny. That's why we need special effects guys. Like Sneako sitting there talking to Chris, and then all of a sudden Barack flies in and like takes him off like like that kid in the Never-Ending Story.
Barack comes and saves the day.
The Never-Ending Story. This is too funny. Yes, it is. The whole discussion, guys. Again, awesome video. Share that video that we went through everywhere. Again, the link is in the description box. Carlo, obviously Sneako is a paid shill. He's doing this for that sweet Saudi money. Yeah, and I mean, we don't actually know. He could also be doing it. He could just be doing it because he saw Tate do it, or so it could just be a kind of mutual manipulation thing. But we don't know. We do know that these guys will offer money. What did Tristan say that one time?
He did say that he was offered benefits in the Middle East and certain, I don't know, rewards or something if he converted to Islam. But of course he rejected, because why would he do something like that?
Because his heart is too pure.
Yeah.
He's not for sale. His girlfriends are for sale, but not him.
And his brother is for sale. I would say if somebody is paying these people behind the scenes, and it looks like somebody is, I wouldn't say that it's Saudi Arabia. I would say it's probably somewhere Qatar or United Arab Emirates.
UAE, that's what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it ain't MBS, guys. It ain't him.
Yeah.
Because that guy is on our side. Donation, not from the Mossad. Well, we don't want it if it's not from the Mossad.
What is this, man?
I only accept shekels. I only take the shekels from Mossad.
If it's not from the Mossad, don't give.
Yeah, just kidding. We'll take shekels from anybody.
Okay.
Speaking of Katy, is it Perry or Peary? Katy Perry. Speaking of Katy Perry, imagine how insane you would have to be for Russell Brand to demand a divorce. Wait, he's the one who demanded a divorce?
Really?
I had assumed that he was the nutty one there, because I don't know anything about her, but yeah, if she's the nutty one, yeah, that's pretty crazy. Ayatollah here says, this is the most ashamed I have ever seen Sneako. Oh, wait, there was that time at the party. Which time was that? What are you laughing at?
I don't know if this is a reference to something real, because there is an incident where that people always make fun of with Sneako.
Yeah, that's what I'm wondering, if it was some video and there's a party there or something.
Well, there was an incident with his girlfriend.
Where he was sitting around watching or something like that? Yeah.
And it became a meme.
Mm-hmm. AP, please refute Islam for 20 minutes.
No.
You see, AP.
Why would you even?
AP admits he can't refute Islam.
Why would you even ask for something so disrespectful when you know very well that a Muslim could tune in right at this moment and witness that we're doing something like this and then feel hurt? What would you say to that person? They will be hurt. It will be a traumatic experience.
Would you guys go to the Preacher Corner live event?
Yes.
Will be amazing UK field trip. What Preacher Corner? What is Preacher Corner? Is there a preacher place? It's like Speaker's Corner, but it's Preacher Corner?
I don't know.
Interesting. I like to see Preacher Corner.
People preach at the Speaker's Corner as well. So,
Jelly says, money from Egypt for you to buy Israeli dates. Hoping more people unlearn hate with time. That would be nice. Doesn't look like things are going in that direction, but it would be nice. Can AP finally refute Pikachu's Talmudic tunnels? No. How can you refute that? Can you prove that it's not? That's the standard.
I need to post that clip. That's a good reminder.
That is a good one. Mr. Wool, please. What? This is Mr. Wool.
Mr. Wool, Mr. Wool, Mr. Wool,
please. Please. You have the pitch. I just like the snaggletooth accent. But you have the appropriate pitch.
I have to work on it.
Why do Muslims hate Ibn Ishaq?
They don't hate Ibn Ishaq. They just you probably can explain that better, but
yes, I can.
There's just an authenticity and copy problem there. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, guys. So early on, the first 2 centuries of Islam, you had competing methodologies. And you had the Sira guys, and they're appealing to some earlier authority. Like I heard this from so-and-so, who was a very knowledgeable guy in the 1st century, and then they would tell the story. They have some isnads and so on, but it's basically they're appealing to some 1st century authority that they heard it from. Then the Hadith guys came along, and as they fine-tune their methodology, it eventually becomes you have to do isnad criticism, and I got it from so-and-so, got it from so-and-so, got it from so-and-so, got it from so-and-so, who got it, go all the way back to a companion of Muhammad. So you had both of these methodologies, and Ibn Ishaq was a Sira guy. Over time, the Hadith guys won out, right? Like they were able to make their methodology the official methodology. And so, the Sira guys just kind of faded out over time. But now, here we are in the 21st century, and when we want to learn about Islam, we go to Ibn Ishaq because it's earlier. It's significantly earlier than Sahih al-Bukhari and Sahih Muslim and so on. We want to go to the earliest source. It's filled with embarrassing material, like the satanic verses and so on. So they'll just dismiss it like that. That's not the Hadith. So notice you have to go to later sources to get better information about Muhammad. And there's something just very odd about that. Also, this is an issue that you can kind of see in the discussion with Chris, but you've got Allah, and Allah is revealing things to Muhammad, but later people make all of these very important decisions, and it's like, what is your authority to make those? So when Uthman gets rid of 6 of the 7 ahruf, just I don't like all these differences and stuff, let's get rid of the 6 of the 7. Supposedly, Allah revealed them in all those ways, and this guy makes this decision to do away with 6 of the 7, burn all the manuscripts, issue an authoritative version. It's like, wait a minute, does Uthman have this divine authority to be making these kinds of decisions? Then later Muslims make decisions about, first it's the 7 Qiyat, then it's the 10 Qiyat, but it's later Muslims saying, these are the official 10. You've got other versions, but these are the official 10. It's like, wait a minute, how are you the official spokesman for Islam that has the authority of Allah on this issue? But it's the same with the Hadith. You had different Muslims with different methodologies, and one methodology eventually wins out, but who are you to say this is the official methodology of Islam, as if this is part of Islam, that this is the only way to do things, when it's decisions by later Muslims and it's just their way won out? Weird stuff.
Uthman said, I don't care about Allah. I will do this because I think it's right. Who is Allah? Allah answers to me.
Mm-hmm. Pretty much. We should make some sort of list of all the people who basically slapped Allah into place and said, we're going to tell you how to do it, Allah. We define Islam, not you.
Beginning with Muhammad.
Yeah. Here's a funny one. You didn't even link to Sneako's Rumble page. What if someone tunes in and wants to watch girls make out on Sneako's lap? Please be more careful. That's good. That's a complaint. That's a complaint that Sneako uses, and it is apostate Aladdin can appreciate that. In case he's watching, we don't want his feelings to be hurt. Muslims aspire to be as clueless as Sneako.
Alhamdulillah.
Well, some, but it's more like the Dawa guys want them to be completely clueless because they're easier to manipulate. SOS continued. I do physiotherapy daily to even talk. Was that connected to earlier?
I have no idea.
After 24 years of indoctrination and grappling with cognitive dissonance, I was finally able to fully acknowledge the fact that Islam is a complete lie. Keep up speaking the truth about this oppressive, violent, intolerant religion.
That sounds pretty Islamophobic.
That sounds extremely Islamophobic. What is that? What is that?
Yeah, have some shame.
AP, grab these passages.
Yes. Nasai
5095 and Bukhari 5094. And inform us what's in there while I go through this next one.
Bukhari 5094 says, evil omen was mentioned before the Prophet. The Prophet said, if there is evil omen in anything, it is in the house, the woman, and the horse.
Horse? What?
The horse, not horse. 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 No, the ones that you ride.
Okay.
Actually, that could refer to both again, but the ones that are animals that could also.
What's that other?
The messenger of Allah cursed the woman who affixes. Curse the woman who affixes hair extensions and the woman who has that done. The woman who does tattoos and the woman who has that done. There is a different hadith which actually expands on this and which says a woman comes to Muhammad and says, my daughter is sick, her hair is falling out. Oh ya Rasulullah, can we please put hair extensions on her? And he says, Allah curses the one who does it and the one who has it done. It's hair extensions.
Yeah. I made it before I was doing YouTube and I was just writing for a blog. I did a blog post many years ago called Locks of Love and something to do with Islam. Muhammad versus Locks of Love. But Locks of Love is a group that has people cut their hair. People with long hair has them cut their hair, and then they make wigs for kids who have cancer and things like that, so that they can have actual good wigs and so on. It's like Muhammad says, you're all like hellbound for doing that. That's crazy.
Allah hates it.
that really enrages him. Banging a 9-year-old doesn't. He loves that, but putting some hair on a 9-year-old cancer victim, no.
Yes, it's like when Allah comes and he's watching what you're doing throughout the day, and he's like, oh, okay, good, you're having sex with that little 6-year-old girl. Wait a minute, what is that on her head? What is that on her head? Are those hair extensions?
We got to do reenactments of some of these hadiths.
You can't do a reenactment of that. But go ahead.
No, we can. We can have Allah at the judgment, and okay, so this is what is that on our head? Looks like we got Daniel Hakikachu in here. Leather strap-on pleasure machine of the Anus Inc. says, in honor of Momo's miracles, we're having a sale on our giant rubber fist called the Moon Splitter. Quit laughing and encouraging these horrible, evil people. So now we not only have what is it, Goat Hub or only goats? We have Goat Hub, Goat Hub, and we have this one advertising their products. Skyfall says they say some Muslims can recite the whole Quran and also children memorize the whole Quran. Call on their BS and ask them to find one person to do it. Yeah, I say this sometimes when it gets brought up because there are two main responses I give when people are like, because I'll see things like, but billions and billions of Muslims have memorized the entire Quran. I was like, okay, billions and billions of people is, you're at 2 billion, you're at almost 2 billion right now in the world, and your numbers were significantly smaller in the past. Don't be telling me about billions and billions. But yeah, the two ways I normally respond. One, I'll quote Ibn Umar, who said, when he heard people bragging about memorizing the Quran, he said, let none of you say I've memorized the entire Quran, for how do you know what the entire Quran is when so much of it is gone? What you should say is I've memorized what remains of it. So point there is you can't actually memorize all of the Quran because you lost a bunch of it early on in Islam. And the other response is, yeah, supposedly there's all these Muslims who've memorized the entire Quran. I've met like two in my life, people who've, and this is just according to them. It's not like I sat there and listened to them recite the entire Quran. I met like 2 people who have actually say they've memorized the entire Quran, and I believe them. And I would say I believe them because when I'm referring to verses, they could actually quote the verses in Arabic from memory. And I'm assuming that maybe they can do that throughout the Quran. But yeah, it's not as common as Muslims think. And if it's as common as they think, why do they have so many problems and keep ending up with so many different Quran versions? Bro has lower hikmah than a baby at... What is that? That word means something.
Just say yes. What? Lower than a baby at Biri. I don't know.
Yeah, that's something. What is that?
I don't know. I don't know such things.
There we go. Circumcision. Yeah. I was thinking that, but I didn't want to blurt it out.
You know what's funny? Speaking of population growth, when you look at the history of the population growth of the Middle East, the Levantine areas under the Ottoman Empire specifically, the population growth of the Muslims wasn't good. In fact, it was, in comparison, when the European population was growing, the Middle Eastern population until the 20th century was in decline. It wasn't growing rapidly. This is something that you could totally look into to refute the nonsensical point made by people like Daniel Kikichu that Islam brings this this great growth in population and all that. It historically didn't really look like it.
Was Muhammad a real person, as it says in the standard Islamic narrative? If no, how much is made up and how much is real? Is everything in the narrative made up? Those are the questions that are currently being debated. You have some people, Jay Smith, Robert Spencer, who believe it's all made up. I think you and me are in pretty similar situation, aren't we, AP? Where
yeah,
I believe in like the historical core. It's just too much stuff, but I think a lot of stuff had to be exaggerated because Muhammad didn't seem to make the splash on history that you would expect if he's going around and the various emperors of the Persian Empire and the Roman Empire are all panicking over him and so on. So
their explanation is, the alternative explanation is usually that Mecca didn't appear in history, therefore it is most likely made up and didn't exist. Whereas my explanation, or your explanation, our explanation, is that Mecca did exist. It just played a very minimal role and was of no importance in the region, and was just embellished by the Muslims later on, which explains why it wasn't prominently mentioned at all.
Yeah, but keep in mind the main issue here is we don't have early sources to go on, so you could defend a lot of different positions here. Yeah. Let's see. Use code THINKO for 72% off at any tunnel pass. Cool. They're gonna need that. They're gonna need that tunnel pass in New York. I hear they're gonna start charging everyone $14 just to drive into the city from any direction.
Nice. That's beast.
Ayatollah says, Chernobyl, Ukraine, 1986. Sir, it's a 1.4 on the Hikmah scale. Sneako. Not great, not terrible. Brent, they are middle-age equivalent to lower-class Christians.
Listen to this. They're making fun of something tragic in recent history. How would you feel if you were a questioning person and you just came into this and heard it?
Imagine if you're a Russian and you enter this discussion. Hey, discussion rhymes with Russian.
Yeah. And you would be Russian out of that live stream. Yeah, anyway.
They are middle-age equivalent to lower-class Christians, fear God, and lead by people who manipulate God's message in order to serve their purpose.
Alhamdulillah.
Oh, this was a message for Chris. Chris, thank you for your work, sir.
You're welcome.
On behalf of Chris, AP says you're welcome. It's like the Marvin Gaye song, Strong Persuader. She was just another notch on my guitar. He was just another shahada in the park. Mm-hmm.
That's nice.
My husband converted to Serbian Orthodoxy. He had to go to school 3 years before he could be baptized.
See, that's what I mean. But Muslims are like, well, school. No. Repeat after me. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. That's it.
Daniel Jones says, D Wood and AP, if the trajectory continues as it is, are you still planning to comment on Mike Winger's video about the tater? Yeah, I totally forgot about that because I always try to block Mike Winger from my mind. We got to cover that. We got to cover Mike Winger talking about Andrew Tate.
Who?
That's like the world's biggest nerd talking about the top G.
I don't know who you're talking about.
It's going to be, yeah, we're going to have to take a look at that. Mega Lag says, did anyone want the video called The Absolute Annihilation of Sneako? It is a complete takedown of the man and points out how his opinions come from who he is currently talking to. I was noticing that just from that video, right? Like whoever's in front of him, hey, they're 10 Quran. Okay, there are 10 Quran. Okay, so there's 10 versions, right? Yeah, there's 10 versions. No, what am I supposed to say? Okay, but it's like whoever's so given the fact that he's like that, they would have to keep him completely insulated, surrounded by Muslims at all time to be filling his head with this stuff, because you can't let him around someone like Chris for more than a couple minutes or he's just going to start agreeing with everything they're saying.
He has an empty brain, an empty head, and he just fills it with whatever the person in front of him says. That's true. There was a meme that Destiny or his audience was sharing. It was going around where he speaks to different people, and every single time he says, "Thank you, you gave me a lot to think about." Then he speaks to the next person on a completely different issue. "Thank you, you gave me a lot to think about." and every single time he just he changes his appearance to adjust to whoever he just talked to.
What about the 10? What about this book going through the 10 Kirat? Yeah. I'll read that. Yeah, I'm going to read that. I'm going to read all 10. Let's see. The wonderful warrior woman for Christ, Hatun, has already proven on video there is no less than 26 different Qurans just in Arabic, correct? Yeah, that later got expanded to, I think, 37. And so keep in mind, this doesn't even fit the pattern of the Qirat. What you have to do is say that these 37 different Arabic Qurans are actually sort of kind of like combinations of the different readings of the different Qirat. So in other words, like this Quran that you have today, it includes readings from this, and it includes readings from Hafs, and it includes this reading from Warsh, and it's sort of a hybrid of various Qurans. But yeah, Hatun actually showing up to Speaker's Corner with 26 different Qurans. That was what set off. Because at first Muslims are saying, no, you printed those on your own. You inserted the variants in there and printed your own Qurans. And it just kept being put in their faces. Look, this is Hafs, this is Warsh, this says something different from this one. How are you saying there's no differences? The people complained. They went to their Dawah guys. Their Dawah guys didn't know how to answer. At first, their Dawah guys, they're saying, oh, it's different accents. It's just like different accents, which is what that guy was saying. It's just different accents, and that didn't work. And so Muhammad Hijab came up with the brilliant idea, let's get Sheikh Yasser Qadi. He literally wrote the book on sciences of the Quran. He can clear all this up, and the rest is history. Like the history of the myth of perfect preservation.
Alhamdulillah. Beautifully said.
Joshua says, what do you all think of my proposal if 50% or up followers of Muhammad are named Muhammad? I vote all followers of Christ change all our names to Chris. It would be pretty confusing. We'll all change our names to Chris.
That's a good idea. I approve.
React to Candace Owens and Rabbi Barkley on Unbelievable.
Candace.
We could go through that. Have you seen that?
I haven't. I saw that they were fighting, and there was a moment where people were sharing a thing out of context, where he called her anti-Semitic because she was refusing to basically single out and condemn what Hamas did, and was basically equating whatever they do to what Israel does, and was drawing a moral equivalence between the two sides, and using pretty messed up narratives. And he just said that you have just been you've just given into the whole anti-Semitic narrative. And people then took that out of context and made it look like he accused her of anti-Semitism because she condemned the killing of Gazan civilians or something like that. I don't know. That's all I've seen about it. I need to look at it further.
Yeah, you should check that out. But we have, so we've got the Mike Winger, Andrew Tate video to cover. We've got some more Sneako clips, and Chris was pointing out there are some that were even more embarrassing for Sneako. And then there's the whole live stream they did where Sneako doesn't even know the Shahada and so on. So yeah, we got plenty of stuff to cover. And then there's this. Yeah, we got lots of stuff to go through.
We gotta do that. We're just
gonna have to just be cranking out live streams left and right until we get caught up on all the stuff that's going on. Bring Ananda apologetics.
I don't think I want to make a live stream about Candace Owens because she's just painful.
You've got to cover Candace Owens.
She's terrible.
You're just jealous because she's popular and a woman in black.
That's true.
As far as Ananda apologetics, yeah, we're just going through super chats right now. I assume this is from earlier, but yeah, if Ananda wants to come on with Chris sometime and go through some more video clips of Speaker's Corner, totally cool. Happy to.
David, you should see a specialist about your throat. I think it's getting bad. You should do something about this. Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's because of talking so much and because of all these live streams.
It's from yelling. Yeah, it's from having a cold. And here's the doctor I need, a cough drop. And nurse chicken soup. That's what I need.
Nice.
Dave Chappelle is also Muslim for full circle. Yeah, but he doesn't seem one of these guys like who's doing it for to chase clout. He said before he doesn't even really talk about it because he'd be a bad representative because he doesn't live according to it. So, but he believes that Islam is true. I'd be interested in seeing what reasons he has for that. Maybe Sneako just couldn't focus that day because his leather straps were too tight.
Could be.
Well, have you ever seen him able to focus better than that? Because he seemed exactly like every time I see Sneako. How do you think Sneako would feel about this, D. Wood? Feel about what? How do you think Sneako... Oh, there you go. It's from your buddy. How do you think Sneako would feel about this, D. Wood?
Posted boo.
We need to start having content warnings for whoever we're talking about ahead of time so their feelings aren't hurt.
I love the stupid thumbnails that you put on with Sneako's face.
Cheeky Shaky says, La ilaha, what? Mm-hmm. Making Sneako a Muslim was not a clever move. It was not the perfect move. It was a really stupid low hikmah move.
Very, very low hikmah.
Would you guys cover the Yasmin Mohammed conversation with Sam Harris? No, I haven't seen it, but I saw that it existed. I saw her sharing it. Did you check that out?
I did.
Ask your wife. She somehow watches everything that comes out.
She does. When there's something about a streamer or something, I'm like, who is this? And she just explains it to me immediately. Or when a video comes out in any of these realms connected, and I say I haven't watched it, she's like, oh yeah, I saw it. It's very nice.
Mm-hmm.
It's a good advantage.
Curious if Iran gets the bomb, if that will only speed apostasy or scare more people into submission.
The bomb.
Yeah, if Iran gets even close to a nuke, I think whatever facility he's working on is going to be bombed, either by Israel or some other nation or a collaboration.
I'd say if Iran gets a bomb, it's probably very likely that they will just accidentally detonate themselves and all that. But until that, I think that things will change in Iran and the people will rise up and put an end to the regime.
Yeah, if they get anywhere near to a bomb, I think that facility is going to be blown to little tiny pieces.
Yes.
The Eyes of the Leather Strap is a poem by Allah. That's true. It's the best poem ever. Yeah. More Shake Your Booty, please. Yes to a channel. Yes, that would be a good channel.
Yes. Shake Your Booty.
No, yeah, just call it Ask Shake Your Booty and have it like a parallel to the Asim Al Hakim show. You should even get like a green screen where you're at a desk and stuff and you're like it. And
I could even I could make a nice logo for that, like a cartoonish shake face, and just says "Ask Shake Your Booty." Huh. Yeah,
it'd be a good show, man.
Yes, it would be.
I was kneeling at church today. My zabuba is so big now. Yeah, you gotta bang. You just gotta keep banging your head.
Yes.
A Muslim dies and goes to Jannah. He asks Allah for the 72 virgins. Allah points away. Later, the Muslim comes back. Allah, you said 72 virgins. Where are the women?
Yeah, it's 72 versions, actually. Yeah.
72! Joshua Woden. Thanks, D. Wood. I watch all the shows of This Week in Jihad. However, the super chats are turned off. But if you could note my question to ask Robert how I get one signed. Yes, I will bring that up. I will bring that up, Joshua. How many times are you gonna say it?
Just don't bring it up. Don't bring it
up. David, did you see the video of Weeko getting his butt kicked by Sean Strickland? Is that the guy who just beat the crap out of Sneako? It seemed kind of like guy seemed like a dirtbag. Like, and I'm saying that because I had my sons doing mixed martial arts back in the day, and I would sometimes jump in with some of the jiu-jitsu guys and stuff like that. And it's just understood if you're a brown belt in jiu-jitsu and you're rolling with a guy who doesn't do anything, you kind of like dial your skill level down so that you can actually, the guy can be learning something and so on. Whereas this Sneako steps in a ring with this guy and they're just sparring. The guy just like beats Sneako's face in.
Yeah.
So keep. I'm sitting there going, "Gosh, this guy's a dirtbag, man." I mean, can you imagine? Like if you're an actual. I mean, suppose you're an actual fighter, and someone's like, "Hey, let me step in the ring with you to find out. See, maybe you get some pointers." I mean, you just like beat the crap out of the guy and pummel him until they have to pull you.
Sounds like that was the perfect move.
Hey, check this out. Myth Vision released a video today attacking David. Uh-oh.
Really?
Myth Vision. What is this?
David. How dare you, David Wood, the loser. I hate David Wood.
Let's see. Myth Vision. Apologist humiliates himself.
And you put a log into your eye.
Oh dang! I was like, oh, we should watch this, but it's 58 minutes, so I'm not gonna. We're not gonna watch. I'm not gonna watch that.
Nice. I have to check that out.
Oh wait, it's talking about the Dome of the Rock. I don't know what's in there, but it's Christian debunks Christianity.
Know much about Christianity, then, my friend.
I have to. See
yeah. So one of the ongoing issues, like I don't know if that's what they're going to do, but something that just comes up over and over and over again is this stupid thing where I will apply some Islamic reasoning to a Muslim argument, and then they'll try to saddle so Muslims will say perfect preservation right down to the letter. And I'll say, no, there are textual variants. There are textual variants. Look at these textual variants. And then someone will respond, ha ha, you hypocrite. There are textual variants in the Bible. Ha ha. And they'll expose me like that, right? And it's like, we're not the one making the claim, genius. They're the ones making the claim. So if they're making the claim, then we assess that claim. If I'm not making the claim, then I wouldn't exactly have the same issue. But I don't know where they're going with that. We'll see. But
nice.
I
Just
suspect
accept that you have been humiliated by Myth Vision.
I will accept that that his fans will not know how terrible that video is.
Just accept that you have been humbled and humiliated.
Hey, AP, what's up with everyone trying to take down the big dogs? Huh? Everyone just wake up one day and we got to go after AP and D Wood. They're destroying Islam too fast.
This looks like this is a rebellion, and you know how we deal with rebellions.
I know how we deal with rebellions. Once again, if people didn't mess with D Wood and the apostate prophet, they wouldn't have anything to regret for the rest of their lives.
I feel so empty without me.
Myth Vision teaming up with apostate Aladdin. Sneako goes through fads. One was Nick Fuentes. Yeah, he did. Is he still on the Nick Fuentes train?
I don't know. But he still hates Jews, so makes sense.
Is the Lil Jon thing real? To answer the question, turned down for what? Because music is haram. It is interesting how any of these guys are going to take like a musician. Like, hey, are you going to... Lil Jon, are you going to adapt Islam and be consistent with it?
What?
Ananda Apologetics, can I join to discuss my video? Oh, I think this is from a little while ago. But yeah, it would be too late now. Ananda Apologetics, but we would be happy to have another live stream and you can jump in and we can go through the video. Or if you want Chris, he's welcome to join as well. So, and do me a favor, send me the link so I can have the video and watch it ahead of time and so on.
Inshallah.
Sneako took a trip to Shake Shack and got #1 greatest deceiver special. Went to the Shake Shack. Now everyone's telling get Ananda Apologetics in the stream. Yeah, sometimes we get to super chats later and then all these messages from earlier are now irrelevant. But again, happy to have them on. We'll set it up. No one can force you to come to Christ, AP. But as you continue to search and fight for truth, may it set you free in Christ. Love you both. God bless. How do you refute that, AP?
Oh, I can't really refute it, innit?
No, all you have to say is, but David has a log in his eye. From his Dome of the Rock. I might have to watch that. I think it's a situation where people aren't going to understand, like, it's similar to apostate Aladdin. Like, no one can tell when we're being serious and when we're joking. When I can tell when you're joking. You can tell when I'm joking. And other people listen, oh my goodness, he said this.
I don't know. So the situation to me, it looks like a Myth Vision probably took you down and humiliated
destroyed me.
Destroyed you. And at this point, you just need to give up and, you know.
See, that video's borderline, man. Gosh, I might want to go through it, man. It's a little long.
Borderline.
Hey, Myth Vision, send me permission to, because sometimes if I just sit there and watch someone's entire video during a live stream, like YouTube will take it down or I'll get a copyright issue or something like that for watching too much of a person's video. So Myth Vision, give us permission to just watch your video. I don't know if we'll actually do it because that is still a long video. Give us permission to use your video and to watch it like in large chunks where maybe we're watching like 5 or 8 minutes at a time or something like that. Maybe we'll go through it to see how I've been humiliated. Just to show everyone.
He might be listening right now.
How nice we are. Yeah, everyone tell Myth Vision to send me permission to use his, to go through his entire video. Although, if it's not good, we might not make it through 2 minutes of it because we might be totally repulsed by the silliness of the arguments.
Oh, I didn't see this. He sent me a message actually earlier today, just when he published his video.
It said, AP, I've destroyed David Wood. You need to team up with me, a fellow atheist, not that Christian who's been humiliated with a log in his eye. Something like that.
You know, he sent me a message on my phone, and he says, "Hey, did you see how I destroyed your boy?" Just kidding. That's what he said. He says,
That would be funny. That would be awesome.
He said that he would like to. He would be. He liked your videos on the whole Islam stuff, but he took an opportunity to take a dig from a different perspective, to call out what he perceives as an inconsistency. But he would like to join us for a conversation, to have these conversations, these discussions. So yeah, and regarding your question that you just asked, he said he's more than welcome to do so. So
he already replied.
Yes.
What, to watch his entire video?
Yes.
Hey, maybe we'll watch the video with him there, so that I can tell him that is the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my life, sir. How dare you put that into a video and embarrass your entire channel, and then watch him squirm.
That would be interesting, and I would be there to try and keep the peace and decide who won.
Wait, we were already sitting here talking about how many thousands of live streams we have to do to get caught up, and now we just added another one. But it'd be actually, yes. I wouldn't mind having because it's been a while since I talked to Myth Vision. So yeah, it'd be cool to have him on there.
Yeah, that'll be nice.
You know who won't be cool with it? Apostate Aladdin. Why are you joining? Why are you joining together with these guys? They're the worst people in the entire universe. They're so mean when they talk about Muhammad. Peace be upon him. I mean, oopsie. I didn't mean to let the cat out of the bag.
He's gonna take this seriously again.
They're saying, didn't he do that? Didn't he do that in his little post? He's like, and he called me a neo-Nazi, but says he was joking. Like, do you think he was?
We joked about.
Do you think he was seriously calling?
Do you remember we jokingly called him a neo-Nazi to make the point?
I don't remember. I don't remember at all, but I assume it happened.
And we actually said he's probably going to take this seriously now, and he actually did. He made a community post today, and he said, and he called me a neo-Nazi, and then cowardly hid behind, claiming that this is just a joke. Dude, why would I seriously call you a neo-Nazi?
Calling him a neo-Nazi?
Are you stupid? Why would I call
you a neo-Nazi? This is what we have to deal with, ladies and gentlemen. We laugh and joke, and we're sarcastic, and we have people who don't understand any of that, and then complain based on their own ability to understand what we're actually talking about. Then they throw tantrums. And we say, dude, if you don't understand what people are saying because you lack an ability or something like that, probably shouldn't be attacking people along those lines.
I was very nice to him even in the community post that I responded to him today. That was before. Well, okay.
You shared Kill Shot. You shared Eminem's Kill Shot with him as your response. It's not nice.
But I love that song, and something just reminded me of it. I don't know.
It's exactly like it. It's exactly the same situation.
Not really. I don't really see myself as the king or anything.
You're the Eminem of the ex-Muslim community. Face it.
No. But what was I going to say? Oh, yeah, I was very nice to him in my response afterwards that I wrote, and that was before I received further revelations that I should have known beforehand. At this point, I can confidently and very clearly say that guy is a terrible person. Terrible person. Nothing like the public persona that he tries to present. And I would actually recommend everyone to not engage with his stuff, and even to unsubscribe. And I also removed him from my promoted channels list.
Whoa! After putting him up, then taking him down, then putting him back up, now you're just saying he's officially down? Ooh.
Yeah, because I learned something. Because I learned something about him that is where there is no way that I can possibly have any reconciliation or peace with.
This is not TMZ. You're not sharing breaking, messed up news about people on here, man.
I do, unfortunately, in this case. I have to. Yeah.
So, Apostate Aladdin is now on everyone's naughty list.
Yeah.
Thanksgiving once a year, one meal. Ramadan once a year, 2 Thanksgiving meals a day for 40 days. Muslims, this is fasting. It's a lot of fasting.
It is. It is. It is the perfect fasting.
React to Gary Faust on Arab inbreeding.
Who? What?
Not familiar with that. There are some problems there with inbreeding.
There are no problems in Islam. Everything is perfect in Islam.
You see this from the world's leading defender of incest.
Even yeah.
Jizya to buy some Israeli dates and some khamr. Well, God bless you both. Yeah, want all the dates. Matter of fact, I should be eating those. I should be eating those King Solomon dates like every live stream. We should order a bunch of those and be eating them. It sucks because I actually don't like. I don't like dates, but I'll do anything to make fun of Ali Dawah. Would you guys debate Muslim Lantern? Totally. He can. I don't know who that is, but wait, is that the guy? Is that
Why
the
would
guy?
I debate a lantern?
Is that the guy? There was some guys. Do you know? Was that the guy who? There was some guy. God Logic went on his channel, and then God Logic posted the section he was on, and the guy filed a false copyright strike against him and so on. Was that Muslim Lantern?
Wait, is that guy who was who has this? He makes his videos sideways, and he's he has this very calm attitude.
I have zero idea.
I would like to invite you to think about this.
Yeah, most of these guys would. Oh, okay, yeah. DS says yes, that's him. Okay.
Oh yeah, okay, that's him.
And Mrs. Apostate, you asked who that is, and or I asked who that is, and Mrs. Apostate said the Muslim Green Lantern. Yeah. Okay, yeah. People are saying that's him. Yeah, so I would have a natural inclination to not interact with someone who is a total garbage person who files false copyright strikes and crap like that. But if he did want to debate, and I wouldn't imagine that he would want to, it would have to be on our channel so that he can't pull that stunt.
It was the perfect lantern.
It was the perfect garbage sniveling crybaby move. An awful person. God is spirit, and those who worship him must worship in spirit and truth.
Yep, it's true.
First SOS, D Wood, throat is deteriorating. Consult ENT, ASAP. Loud voice, long duration, cold drinks, vocal damage. Notice your clearing throat often. JC loves D Wood AP.
Yeah, that's true.
Yashirun says, hey, D Wood, what do you think about the Hebrew word Allah and the Arabic word Allah? How do you define the differences? You can check that. I mean, they have total different like in Allah, the al is the definite article. He's the Ilah, right? It's the L at the beginning is the L at the beginning of Ella. That's God there. Like you're talking. It's called the phonic fallacy. You take two words that look kind of similar, sound kind of similar, and you say, okay, therefore they're referring to the same thing. But yeah, a good little research project. I would advise having someone with a Hebrew and Aramaic background to break down the differences.
I made a video on that, on the whole Allah and how Allah got his name wrong. That's the video. And then also are God and Allah the same? And I think in both of them, but especially in the how Allah got his name wrong, I addressed that whole transition or comparison between Ella and Allah from a certain aspect. So would recommend watching that.
Yeah, check that out, everyone. Be sure to be weird if you actually made one of your classic videos again one day.
Yeah, that'll be weird.
We should do that one day where we each make a new video, but it's like same exact style as like 6 years ago. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This from your hero, Apostate Boohoo. How would you feel if a Chernobyl employee joined this stream and saw you joking on Chernobyl? Be more considerate.
Oh, man.
Why is ammonia sold in the Middle East food section? I do not know. I do not have that information. People complain about white straight male privilege, but that is nothing compared to the Muslim male privilege in Islamic societies. Yeah, you got that right. A lot more privilege. Do you think Andrew Tate and Sneako are genuine converts? No, I don't. I wonder if they would allow their sisters' daughters to marry Muslim men like Muhammad Hijab. I don't think they would. What are your thoughts on that?
I agree with you. I don't think so.
Yep, I agree. So we're in complete agreement. And whenever D Wood and AP agree on something, it's as good as gold.
It's true. Yeah.
Let's see. Have you seen the news about the Hindu children today? Yes, I did. I haven't investigated it. I only saw it in some tweets.
I saw some people tag me in it, but I didn't really see what it's about.
Yeah, it looked like what I saw was like a barber barber went full jihadi and like slit their. I don't know. We'll have to look it up. I don't want to comment on it without actually looking up. That's what it looked like based on just looking at some tweets that people had sent me. Question for David: is a good way to interpret the incarnation as God following his design laws of mortality, and that's why Jesus did not know everything, since it would be possible for the mortal to contain the infinite. That is a question. So you have passages about the incarnation, you have passages about the deity of Christ, you have passages about the humanity of Christ, and you have passages, Philippians 2 and John 1 that are about the incarnation, and you have issues where how do you reconcile all of these things? And yeah, there are some different views on that.
Yes.
Ever heard of the Frutiger arrow aesthetic? No. I've not.
No.
Don't lie. You think about that all the time.
Always.
I've taken 2 religious studies courses recently, and they both make sure to mention how old Khadijah was with no mention of Aisha. It's like they're conditioning people to not think Muhammad was a pedo.
Where did you take those courses?
Yeah, it is always interesting because that was the same with me. I mean, I study Islam. They don't mention Aisha in a course. They talk about Muhammad and his early life and marrying Khadijah. He's 25, she's 40, and so on. They talk about this, and then they leave out everything about Aisha and him subjugating everyone, and they just leave out a bunch of stuff.
Why would you talk about that? That's offensive.
You're offensive. Sneako told him that would be a good thing to ask in the class, and you don't have to be mean. You don't have to say, "Oh, you're leaving out the part about Muhammad being a pedo." You don't have to say anything like that. You can just be, "Hey, I have a question. We're talking about Khadijah, but did Muhammad have other wives after that? What were they like?" You could ask some questions, and then
what were their ages?
And what were their ages?
I just happen to be very curious about this specific detail.
Sneako told San Diego to go F themselves. He told the whole city? He told all of San Diego?
All of them at once?
The whole city? Oh, no, that's Ron Burgundy, man. They put it on his teleprompter. Yeah. How much longer till Sneako leaves Islam? I don't know, until it's no longer convenient, but he's got a free pass. He'll probably ride this for a good little while. He's got a free pass. He can go around banging anyone he wants, doing anything he wants, just throws a bone to the Muslim community here and there. Oh, yeah, alhamdulillah, here's a picture of me in the mosque, and he'll be treated as a hero for a long time. So that's kind of hard to get away from.
Yeah, the more Islam is normalized, the more it will become in the West, the more it will kind of lose its whole
exotic
appeal.
Yeah,
its exoticness, and then yes.
AP, know any good Turkish dinner foods?
Yes.
What's your favorite food? Turkish food.
Oh, that's part of the question.
No, I'm just asking.
There is this thing. I don't know what that's called in. Well, there are actually 2 things that I'm thinking of right now. One is called an Iskender kebab, and
I do like kebabs.
And one
what kind of meat is that?
Usually lamb.
Oh, D Wood loves some lamb kebabs.
I love lamb. Turks eat lamb, and you know how Zakir Naik says You become like what you eat.
Yeah.
So there's that.
Uh-huh.
And then the other is something called mante, which is some dumplings in Turkish. It's some food that I like a lot.
D Wood likes dumplings too. Normally at the Chinese food place, but
yeah,
take all the dumplings. Myth Vision made a vid with his soldier dad right after 10/7 about terrorism. His audience turned on him. He had to apologize. I lost respect for him. Yeah, I don't know what you mean. Like,
I didn't see that.
He was for one side or the other, and they turned on him. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't believe it. I'll believe it when I see it.
We can ask him since he's going to join us to expose him. Sneako's high intellect debates left APP and David Morningwood trembling and humiliated, hiding behind stones and trees. Alhamdulillah. That's true.
Man.
AP, why'd you get rid of your van? What's that mean?
Why'd you get rid of your van? That's funny. That's funny. I never thought about that one before. It's a play on my name.
Oh, good fan. Oh, I get it. I wasn't even paying attention. I was just thinking, why'd you announce that you'd gotten rid of a van or something like this? Why'd you get rid of your van? That's kind of.
I've never heard of that before.
That's kind of a lame. That's kind of a lame joke.
It's pretty good. That's the best joke I've ever heard in my life.
Postate Aladdin wear mask as he don't have mustache like Daddy AP. I would like to say she was 9 years old. That is correct. Absolute.
I haven't heard that. Wait, who was 9 years old?
How old was she? 9 years old. How old was she?
9.
APD Wood, what is the usual refutation to Mary being sister of Moses and mother of Jesus according to the Quran? So the issue is the Quran refers to Mary, the mother of Jesus, as sister of Aaron. And so he's like, wait a minute, Miriam, the sister of Aaron, was a different person. They're separated by like 1,400 years. So that's an error in the Quran. So the response is, the Muslim response to that, and AP can add any further responses that he's familiar with, is they'll say, this was just a way of speaking about people. You'd give them this honorific title and say, oh, you're a sister of so-and-so, if you're a certain kind of person and so on. Now, the problem is it also lists Mary's dad as Imran, which is the Arabic for Amram, who was the father of Moses and Aaron and Miriam. And so it's that additional problem of, so wait a minute, you're saying that there's this custom of saying, oh, so-and-so's a sister of Aaron, just as a nice thing to say about somebody. And same dad, apparently, is that you apply there. So it's like serious.
Yeah, nah.
And when someone says something like that, when someone says, oh, it was a custom to do this, you should be able to say, oh, then you should be able to show us other people who did that, right?
Yeah.
This should be a normal thing. This should be a normal thing saying, oh, sister of Aaron. We should see it more places in the Quran. We should see it more places in the Bible. We should see it down through history. We don't. So it looks like you're making it up.
And one example that they will then bring, some of them, is, well, it also, for example, the Bible says son of David. But
that's exactly what I was thinking. That is exactly what they say. So, yeah. When son of means descendant, means descendant of. That's not the same thing as sister of Aaron.
Not remotely the same thing. A completely different issue.
Yeah. So when we say, if someone were to say, oh, you could talk of someone as, son of David as a title for a descendant of David, you say, yeah, we see that a lot. We can point to a lot of examples. That's how we know that was a thing. When you say, oh, you could just call someone sister of Aaron and it means righteous person. Well, then lots of righteous women should have been called sister of Aaron, right? You should be able to find references to that. You don't, because you made it up, because your Quran, your Quran made a blunder.
Yeah, I made a video on this as well, which is in fact one of my favorite videos of all time.
Was
to
it
this
dope?
day, it was pretty dope. It was the perfect video. It is called "One Mistake Destroys the Quran." So, yeah, yes.
Have there been death threats against celebrities who leave Islam? Do you guys think they will kill Sneako and Tate, etc., if they apostatize?
Nah,
No.
I think they will just say, "Brothers and sisters, from now on, we should ignore this individual." That's the worst they would probably do to these people.
Yeah, that would be it. Ummah's getting weak, ladies and gentlemen. Ummah's getting weak.
Yeah.
Myth Vision made a video about David Wood. Yeah.
What? He did? Oh, how dare he?
See, we might have to go through that and expose him.
I might have to look him
expose
up now.
me. Ha! Little do you all know, I show videos attacking me because I expose myself.
What? You expose yourself?
I said what I said.
Now you're going down that route. Earlier you were saying that some people nowadays try to become famous by getting naked, and now you're... I don't even know.
You
what
got
to
to
say.
do it. We got to do it, man. Got to do whatever it takes to become as popular as possible. Is AP an atheist ex-Muslim, a secret Christian, or a secret Sufi mystic ulama, known as Sheikh Djibouti, sent to unequally yoke D. Wood and us?
Yes.
You heard it here, folks. Sneako had a bad weeko. Some called him a freako, a real creepo. Every idea he had was a lipo and caused him defeato. Mr. Borello.
Mr. Burrow.
Sneako had a bad weeko. Some called him a freako, a real creepo. Every idea he had was a lipo and caused him defeato. Mr. Borello. Oh, there you go. Geez, Sneako was thrown in the deep end. Yeah, they told him not to go there. They told him not to go. And Sneako just, oh, let me do it's only 12 feet deep. I can...
I mean, if the great scholar Muhammad Hijab tells you not to go to the speaker's corner, why don't you listen?
Yeah. If the lowest... Now, Sneako may just be smarter than everyone else thinks. And he might have been like, well, if Muhammad Hijab is basically the lowest Hikmah person on the planet, and he tells me not to go, I obviously need to do the opposite of that and go.
That means I should go, yeah.
And it's just... and what he didn't realize is there's this broken clock thing, the broken clock rule, that even a broken clock is right twice a day. And so... should have listened in this one situation, not any other situation, but in that one situation.
They should have told him that he is the one who suffers from the absence of hikmah.
Mm-hmm. There's definitely a hikmah deficiency in the Dawa community right now.
Big hikmah deficiency.
Myth Vision video is nerdier than Mike Winger. I have trouble believing that. I have serious trouble believing that. I mean, that's the GOAT, right? Mike Winger is the GOAT of nerds. It's not even close. There's not even a close second. So there's no competition, seriously.
That's a fair point.
He's like, I mean, you can't even point to a real nerd in actual life as a parallel. You'd have to like combine, like you'd have to like Frankenstein together, like Napoleon Dynamite and Steve Urkel and all the guys from Revenge of the Nerds, and like combine them into one like uber nerd. And even that, you'd have to multiply by 1,000 to get Mike Winger and his stupid nerd videos.
Mr. Borelli, you're such a fantastic moron.
Sneako needs to know. Aisha was 9 years old. Yeah, he got informed of that pretty easy. You remember that? You remember that transition because they had a clip of him before his conversion. He's like, "What? Marrying a little girl? That would be messed up." And then right after his conversion, well, after studying and researching the issue since then, I've concluded that child marriage is just totally great, and how dare anyone complain about it? It's like you're watching that going, that's what Islam does. How is no one noticing this problem?
That's what I mean. He's not serious. He's not sincere. He's not going to just change his mind based on new information. He will just quickly learn how to counter this new information and continue his path. That's it. That's what they do.
About to wrap up here. Gwyneth here says there is a global demand for Australian camels because they are free of venereal diseases. Really? In Australia? Populated entirely by criminals? Camels in every other part of the world are infested with these illnesses. Why is this so? Comments welcome. Yeah, anyone have any thoughts on why camels in the relevant parts of the world, besides Australia, where they still use camels, are infested with venereal diseases? I don't know that that's correct. I'm only seeing that here.
Didn't they transfer the camels to Australia from the Middle East or something? I thought that's what happened.
Yeah, but now they don't have. Now they are free of venereal diseases, and the rest of the world isn't. So something is going on, if this is correct. Zocker says, "You eat pig, you behave like pig." Didn't Mo eat donkey? Yes, he did. And that's why he's such a dumb donkey.
Yeah. Donkey brain.
And Sneako might be a pedo. Hashtag she was 9 years old. True.
Everything can be true.
Everything is beautiful. All right, guys, that wraps it up. Glad Chris was able to join us. And I think we'll be having him and Ananda and so on to discuss some more clips of our good friend Sneako. We got some other topics to cover coming up very quickly. AP, anything to share with anyone before we close on out?
We will be live again on my channel on Thursday. I assume tomorrow you are live with...
hang on. I think I have... I'm live with Thaddeus on Thursday, so you've been refuted.
Been destroyed. Well.
Thursday.
We'll figure that out.
But we can... If you want to do back-to-back on your channels on Friday and Saturday, that's fine with me.
Back to back. We'll be back to back. And yes, might be. I will be live probably tomorrow at some point with somebody else, or I might do a recording. I'll have to figure that out with this previous travel influencer Ella Travels from Israel, who shifted her focus completely on the conflict after October 7. But yeah, we'll see. We'll see. Mm-hmm. There's a lot to do.
Mm-hmm. All right, everyone. So we will see you then. And let's keep rooting for Sneako.